Okay. So, yeah, I ran that for a reason, mostly because I need something to talk about. um, that video, let me do some things there, people. That video has, I don't want to say gotten me in trouble, but I've gotten some stuff from people who are just kind of annoyed with me for doing something like that. And well, that looks even worse. Um, Mostly because, oh, that's not real drone video. You didn't use a drone. That's a bunch of bullshit. You were faking it and all this other good stuff. Let's see, trying to clear this up. There we go. It looks a little bit better. So, hey, Jaybird. Let me say hello to Jaybird, Mike Reynolds, Tim, 4i K9. I know Angela was in here, Lost Girl Hikes earlier. But no, and it's not the trolls. I actually, I was part of a Facebook group. I don't know, Houston drones or Houston drone pilots. There's a bunch of them here in Houston that have to do with drones, and I got so much flack about it. And not just that video, but the particular guy that was giving me the flack gives everybody else a bunch of stuff too. And it was, so it wasn't like I felt he was picking on me. He's just a real asshole. Yeah. Okay, we'll go there. But I get annoyed with stuff like that because the moderators, if you read some of these groups, they're not supposed to be doing that. They're not supposed to be calling you out or saying not so nice things. It is what it is, and you can deal with it any way you want. And I know Facebook is a very rough place for an audience, and I don't usually join too many of these groups because they're so critical. Some of the people, either they get jealous, or whatever, they think you're not good enough, you shouldn't be there in the first place. So there's just no telling sometimes with this. But I was going to show a little bit of how that video was made, because in case any of y'all can figure it out or not, that was not all drone video, of course not. But let me find a share screen here. No, it wasn't a joke, because it wasn't a joke, Tim, because they kept at it for a couple of days, and they started calling me on some of my other stuff. But I mean, it's just like I said, I don't deal with negativity. If they're going to be that way about it, I'm gone. I post stuff to my own stuff on Facebook. Y'all know that. And it is what it is. But let me do this. Okay. Go ahead. And what this is right now, you're looking at Insta360 Studio 21. This is where you edit all the video that comes off the Insta360, which is how I got that shot from behind the waterfall. Insta360 is a waterproof camera. So let me just roll this here. And I'm going to play with this as it's going so y'all can see. I mean, you can manipulate this thing any way you want. That's the inside of it. Like I said, you can flip it around. There's the outside shot. You see now, if I kept going, hey, there's me in the corner. I'm over there inside of the cave, and I'm bringing it out. And what I did was actually stop at a point, like right over that railing. I stopped. And I knew right where to set, because I stopped over that railing at a certain height. When I switched over to my drone a few seconds later, I knew right where to put that drone, which made it look almost seamless. So, but yeah, I mean, a lot of people think, well, there's no way you can get a drone back there. It'd get wet and crash. And how'd you get it that close to the rocks? And, all I'm thinking is, do y'all believe everything you see on the internet? Just because I said my drone gets us into some weird places doesn't mean it did. It just, I love yanking people's chains that way. But now, just for grins and giggles, I'm going to run that again. Where is that? Is this it? Yeah. But you would not believe all the hate I got on Facebook over that one. You're cheating. Well, yeah. Okay. Hang on. We got some studio stuff we got to handle here. Okay. In fact, I'm planning on going back and doing another one. They've got another water. First of all, this park that I'm in is a park that I walk in every morning. It is one of the prettiest places you could possibly walk. And I'll tell you what, when I go, there we go. I walk several miles in that park every morning, and I always get these ideas. I put the drone up here and do this and do that. And there is another waterfall on kind of the other side of the park. And I was looking at the angles. Now, to do that pull away shot is going to be a little trickier because I don't have a good mark point for the drone. And also it's such a steep slope that I'm going to be standing on. Yeah, I don't, I could end up in that waterfall myself. I got to be real careful. But the key to that, to the next one I'm going to do is I got to get park permission to do this. They don't want anybody in there after dark. And it won't be dark per se, but it's going to be twilight. Because if I can do that same pull away and then have the drone take over, the pull away shot for the drone going upwards and backwards, you're going to see the dark trees in the foreground and the setting sun in the distance, which ought to look pretty cool, I think. Anyway, but yeah, in case anybody hasn't known, I've been doing the FPV thing. Actually, I've been, that's another thing too. A lot of people, I've actually been doing FPV now for a year. I got a notification on Facebook, and it was when I did an unboxing of my Tiny Hawk 1, and it was a year ago yesterday. It was like a month before I flew it. 5 weeks. I was terrified of it. But I, eventually flew it, and Tiny Hawk 1 has no business being outside, and couldn't fly it inside because the cats got really good at catching it. It has teeth marks. All the first 4 or 5 set of props I changed because they had teeth marks from cats. So I tried it outside, and yeah, that didn't go well either because any kind of a wind, that Tiny Hawk is next to worthless. One of the worst incidences, and I know some people have loved to refer to this when it got caught. I was actually doing pretty good, but there was a wind. It was like about a 10, 12 mile an hour wind, and I was going up against my house. My house, the roof has a 60-degree pitch, and the wind was coming from the south, hitting that pitch. Well, the drone caught the updraft, went straight over the roof. I immediately lost signal and said, uh-oh, So I went in my backyard, no drone. First of all, my backyard is mostly 80% pool. No drone in the pool, at least. That's good, but there was trees. I'm looking up in the trees. No, couldn't see the drone in the trees. Looked for like an hour. I said, it's got to be back here. Couldn't have gone that far. Well, yeah, it could have. Went into the neighbor's yard, into their pool. They'd have been floating back there now for like an hour on top of the water. So I was able to I didn't even go in their yard. I just took the long pool skimming net, fished it out from my side. But yeah, that kind of ruined it. I dried it out for a while, and it just never did fly right. But so yeah, I got a Tiny Hawk 2 earlier this year, and thanks to Carlos from Back from the Sky and the professor, Mitch, old guy in a drone, they got me past some technical issues I was having for getting it off the ground. And I've actually been able to fly it only 3 times though, and it's kind of annoying because I'd like to fly more, but it's like you were saying, Tim. It's after my walk, it's 10:15. It's already 85, on its way to 90. So by the time I get over to the other park, it's already 86, 87. Humidity is 90. Well, no, humidity is like 79%, which is not bad because I'm sweaty mess anyway. But here's the thing with those goggles. Put on those goggles and it's like, okay, let me hold it up here and let this drip a little while because this is getting disgusting. Yeah, there's that. So between the heat here and the fact that I'd fly every day if I didn't have other obligations than chores, but that's just the way it is. I know one thing: most of y'all probably are still working, and I tip my hat to anybody that can find the time to fly a drone and do something positive with it when you're trying to hold down a job and a family and everything else. Because the only thing I got to worry about is a house and wife and lots of dogs and cats. Oh God! Anybody want a cat? So the neighbor moved away. They left the cat. Yeah, my wife gets the cat. Cat has kittens. We get all the kittens. Get every one of them fixed. There's four of them. Honey, we can't keep 5 cats counting the mother. So we compromise. They're all outside cats. I said, okay. We live near a pretty main road. Attrition is going to take its toll. I hate to say it, but we got a 20-mile-an-hour speed limit, and the slowest anybody goes is 35, and they do 50 or 60. So it's just a matter of time before the cat population dwindles. But here's the kicker. We didn't know it, but we'd missed one. We missed a kitten. Well, it followed the rest of the family. And it was too feral for us to get it fixed. It would not come near us. Got pregnant. But by this time now, it got friendly because we figured out it was looking for a place to have its litter of kittens. And this is around Memorial Day. We're looking at God, that cat's going to drop any day. And all of a sudden, she left one day and didn't come back for 2 or 3 days. And next thing we know, she comes back. She's skinny as a rail, had the kittens. Okay. We kept seeing her. She kept coming around, like just appearing out of nowhere. Where is this cat coming from? Usually they come from across the street like they've been doing, but I noticed she wasn't. And about 2 or 3 days ago, I went out in the garage and I go, me. I said, oh no. So I'm mowing the yard and I said, I'm just going to sit here and wait. I was waiting by the big fan to catch my breath. Here comes the mama kitten into the garage, back behind some shelving that I'd put up years ago. I was going, oh God, there's a litter back there. So yeah, anybody need a kitten? Anybody want a kitten? Sharing sweaty goggles with others. I try not to think about it. Yeah, no, I ain't sharing nothing. But quick t-shirt wipe down. Yeah, it's all good. And that's another thing too. I mean, I don't have them handy, but I got these Sky Zone Cobra X, and they're actually kind of good. I paid a little bit more for them. They put the padding around the eyes and everything, so you get a good seal. But you can adjust them just so on the nose to where I start all of a sudden feeling this updraft of a breeze, because I notice there's vents on the top. And between just that little gap around my nose and those vents on the top, I'm getting some airflow in there. So it's not completely stifling. But yeah, it's definitely a work in progress with that Tiny Hawk. Like I said, Carlos has been coaching me, as well as Charlie from Drone Psyche. He just started with FPV2 not long ago. The thing they always kept telling you is get it in acro mode, get it in acro mode. So acro mode in Tiny Hawk 1 was a piece of cake. I didn't see the difference, to tell you the truth, between it and stabilized. But acro in the Tiny Hawk 2, which has a lot more power, is very, very noticeable. The first time I had it, I started in acro on the Tiny Hawk 2. I don't think it made it into the air for more than 10 seconds. So as of 2 days ago, I was at the park and running through some batteries, or packs as they call them. And I said, okay, I'm going to start in acro and I'm going to keep it in acro. I'm not going to stabilize. Stabilize, I can fly it all day. I mean, it's a little hard, but it's not real hard. I'm not taking it out of acro. And I only had 5 batteries with me. So I said, that's going to last me almost an hour between getting out of the chair, going and getting the drone, halfway across the football field I'm flying in. It's time consuming, but the best time I got out of that trip was about a minute and 15 seconds. I was able to keep it in the air, and that's in acro mode. And what I've noticed is if I don't, the problem you have is, okay, you use your left foot to get it up in the air, your thrust, yaw for left and right. Pitch, I would apply the yaw, say, to the left, and the pitch at the same time. And I guess the pitch was too much. Straight down. So yeah, I mean, it was, and I said, okay, maybe just try one or the other, and it still wouldn't work. When I just used the yaw, it would stay aloft, but it just wouldn't work. Well, looky here, I haven't seen this man here in months. Where you been, Leggy Work? In fact, I can't remember when the last time I saw Leggy Work in a stream. But just moderated you there, bud. You know something? I'm looking at myself on the YouTube thing here, and I may have to take myself out. I think my camera is in the wrong, because I'm really fuzzy. I think it's in the wrong mode. So let me do some studio work here. Stop cam. And go back to, I wonder if I can pull up the regular cam, because I think that's where it's hosed at. Is it gonna? It's not gonna give it to me. Close other apps. Ain't closing the other app. If I close the app, stream dies. Or does it? This is interesting. Okay, so if I close the app, but it's still live streaming. Oh, okay. Let me try this another way. Camera, advanced options. Oh, there's one problem. Ooh, that's terrible. Okay, let's try this now. Let's see what this looks like. Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. My green screen wasn't going to cover all the stuff. I had it in 480p mode, and now it's back in 720. SAR stuff. Like as in Virus Star stuff. Hey, Bent Rail Productions. There's another person I haven't seen in the chats in quite a while. Because SAR, I mean, when I see SAR, I'm thinking of that virus, but I know SAR the acronym stands for a bunch of other things. So kind of curious on that. Search and rescue. Yeah, that was, yeah. See, the one that I'm familiar with it by is, let me type it in just so y'all know what I'm talking about. It's that. That stands for search. Oh no, wrong component. That was one from my Army days. Search, evade, rescue, and execute, or something like that. Never mind. Sorry for the slurps. That was probably gross. So, I'm kind of curious, like, when you say search and rescue, because I mean that's what, I don't know if you know or remember Ron Lockwood. He's one of the regulars in here. That's what he does for a living, and he's based out of South Dakota. But he flies a chopper and pilots an ambulance, depending on what kind of work there is to be done. By the way, Chris, Sunrise Water Media. Hey there, bud. Sorry I didn't mention you earlier. So now that Chris is here, that gives me another thought. Man, my internet connection must be really sucking wind, because I still look bad on my end of it. Let me do a reload. It could be just a page. So, spin up. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Here we go again. Oh. That was interesting. That was the, hey, Ray Kelly. That was the admin for the group that I quit a week or two ago over this little hassle. And I put something up that I'd done last night downtown with a good, well, I don't want to say good friend of mine. I just actually met him for the first time last night, him and his wife, but he's been doing drones that I'm aware of for probably longer than anybody I've ever known. But he just commented, the guy from the group just commented on my nice pictures that I put up. But that's another thing too. Through social media, Facebook, and of course YouTube being one of them, but Facebook, I've met people that you'd never meet before. The guy in general that I'm talking about that I met last night, his name is Steve Hyde. If you go to YouTube and type in Steve Hyde, he's got a YouTube channel. It's only got like 100 subs. He doesn't do YouTube. He's been on YouTube since 2011. He flies, well, let me preface this. He has flown, I think the earliest one was either a Phantom 1 or a Phantom 2. So he's been flying drones a lot longer than mostly anybody in here. And currently he's flying a Mavic 2 Pro. And the only reason why I'm even talking about this is because everybody does video. You know, everybody that has a drone, you post the video. He does photos. He doesn't do much. In fact, he hardly does any video at all. He does photos. And he's the one that actually started me getting more interested in the photography side of the drones that we use. And he does morning and evening shots mostly. And, you know, and it's not to say that he doesn't use things to enhance the photos to make them pop better. He does. But he's just he's just somebody else who started me on another facet, you could say, of this hobby, because I've really gotten into the photography side of it too. In fact, I'm going to show y'all a couple of before and afters that I took just last night. Got into a conversation with Jim Boyd. Jim Boyd's not a big fan of enhancing photos either through Photoshop or anything else. You know, and a lot of people, and I'm guilty as the next one, you oversaturate everything. You know, you really do. But, you know, I look at it like this. You know, when you're talking about things like photography, which could be considered a form of art, it really gets subjective as to the person, how the person sees it. You know, one person's art is garbage. So, you know, it just depends on what you want it to look like. Let me do this here. I didn't have this ready to go, so give me a second or two. So, let me see. Now I got to remember where I put all those pictures. Drone media, drone footage. One of these days, I'm going to show y'all how I do my files. In fact, I should do that now. Just in case, because if anybody's, I mean, if you have several cameras and a bunch of drones, you better know how to do filing systems. Photos. This is going to suck. I'm going to have to open this one up in a different window. There we go. Oh, no, these are the raw ones. No, I don't need raw. Although I did do these from raw. Let me see. Let's go with view so I can know what I'm looking at. Okay, yeah. We will start with this one. Let me bring that one up. And it's enhanced brother. Where did that go? Sorry for this, people. Like I said, I didn't have this up and ready to go, so. Oh, I'll tell you what. Let me just do this one. Yeah, that'll work. Oh, yeah, here we go. Okay. So, like I said, this is all subjective. This is a photo. It is a JPEG. I've got a RAW version of it, and actually I work with the RAW versions whenever I edit. This is a shot of downtown Houston last night at sunset. The sunset is in the other direction. That's why you don't see it, but you do see the reflection on one of the office buildings of the sky. So, took this picture, ran it through Skylum Luminar 4, and I come out with that. Hopefully y'all's videos or whatever y'all looking at this on is clear enough to see this. The thing I like this about, go back and forth here. You've got no definition in the greens down here at the bottom. Everything looks kind of dull. And the only bit of light is City Hall right here. You can see that. So City Hall actually stays the same. The sky gets perked up. The green comes up greener. Some of the colors pop more on the buildings. Keep in mind that whatever sun is in the western sky is still shining on those buildings. And you don't really see that in the original photo. It's kind of dull. It almost looks like D-Log. And by the way, this is taken with the Air 2S. I've got brand new Polar Pro ND filters. This was an ND32. So I was actually trying to get as dark of a photo as I could. The darker you make a photo, the more you can bring out this kind of stuff when you do it in post-processing. So you don't want anything overblown or anything like that. So, but yeah, I mean, it's just, I probably spend more time on photos now, or as much time on photos as I do on video. As many of y'all, in case y'all haven't noticed, because I don't put up shit on my YouTube channel anymore. Richard Fink, hey bud, man, am I still camera back in the yeah, that would have been awesome. Speaking of which, it's kind of similar. I guess it was original Dovo put a camera. I can't remember which one it was. I think I'm pretty sure it was a GoPro on the back of his DJI FPV drone, and that was some awesome footage. Hey Richard, what kind of? I only know a little bit about RC planes, other than hanging around. We've got quite a few airfields here in Houston that they do fly them, and I was just kind of curious, what kind of a camera can you mount on something like that? Because cameras back in the 70s, I mean, those things were heavy tanks. They didn't have these, even a DSLR weighs like a pound or something. And the mirrorless ones that they've come out with, which I've got one, they're pretty light, but they're still kind of chunky. Still camera. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Even a still camera on an RC would have been pretty heavy. Let me do this here. Okay. Hey, Steve Carpenter. You're all fuzzy. Yeah, I know. I'm worried about that, man, because I think my internet connection is hosing up again. It was okay before I shared the image. Oh man, it was a Kodak disc camera. Oh, okay. I do remember those. Let's see here. I heard somebody pop open my door. Oh, let's see if you're fuzzy.
I'm perfectly clear. I can see myself perfectly clear.
I'm waiting for the delay to come over onto my screen. Yeah, you are. You're much clearer than I am. This is terrible. But then again, I'm not that much to look at either. So there's that.
No, oh yes, you are. But the thing is it occurred. You were clear as a bell until you shared the image. You were clear. Huh. I was watching it beforehand, and then it became fuzzy when you came back up again.
That's bizarre. Now, because I think I'm gonna have to call AT&T because I have been having not real noticeable issues, but it's like, we got internet TV now. We got rid of the UVerse stuff, and I don't see pixelation, but I am seeing like a delay, too much of a delay in getting from one channel to another, and I'm just going, oh, this is not good. Hey, Kai. I think I sent you a link if you want to pop on in here. I know you're probably going on with Dad Random here in about another 50 minutes or so.
Yeah.
So how's it going, Steve? You're not at work, are you?
I was. Got back from the building and just got done approving some change orders for my project so they can get going. That terrible word, change order.
Yeah. I don't know. It all depends on what kind of line of work you're in. They were bad for us when I was at the phone company because it meant we had to go inside somebody's house and work on a phone jack or put one in.
Yeah. Well, we've been doing some work on the building that I've been working on for a long time, and we took out some old garage doors that were on the back of these buildings. It was a commercial building that was all light industrial commercial, and they had an 8 foot high by 12 foot wide garage door, and in the middle was a metal door. It was built in, so the door went up with the door, and then you could open it just like a regular door. Well, we got rid of those, and stucco got all that done. Well, that's by the time we put that stuff in with the existing floor, we realized this is the existing floor, and the asphalt is above the height of the of the parking lot is going in, so water will end up going into that. So we're gonna have to grind about 4 feet from the building out, grind all this asphalt out for 160 feet, and then bring it back in and seal it so we can meet the ADA, even though the building's not ADA approved, but to meet the threshold. So as you go in, you're not going to be having a 1 inch or 2 inch lip going in, which is illegal.
Hey, D&D Aerials, Charlie, Drone Psyche. Howdy, guys. Hey, Steve.
Yes, sir.
I think I know another issue that's going on because I was playing with this camera that I'm working on, and I might have screwed up the settings. It may not be. What I want to make sure is it's not the internet. So here's the thing, though. The camera, I can't bring up the camera itself because it's being used by StreamYard. So if I shut down StreamYard, does my live stream go away?
If you back out, no, because the StreamYard's going. In other words, you can exit out of your own stream. You just don't end the stream. In other words, up on the top, as long as you don't end that, if you get out of it and you come back in and then you let yourself back in.
Okay. Hold down the fort for me.
I'll be picking my nose here.
Okay. Just whatever you do, just don't drop your shorts.
No.
We don't need to see. Pick away, but I don't need to see anything else. Okay,
no, so I'm not coming back on CNN anymore.
Okay, let me see here. I'm just gonna shut down this browser, and I think that should do it. Oh, let me give you Kai to here. You can talk to Kai while I'm gone. I'm just gonna shut down this browser, and I think that should do it. Okay, he's echoing. I'm out of here. Let me try something. Right back. You can talk to Kai while I'm gone.
Yeah, you're double. You got to shut off your audio on your browser, Kai.
He's echoing. I'm out of here.
I'm still echoing. Hold on.
Yeah, you're double.
Not anymore.
That's excellent. How are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. We got a sunny day actually here today, and if everything goes all right, we may be able to have a sunset flight here tonight because I don't see any clouds sitting over the horizon for a change, but that can change.
You mean like us being in rain for the past month?
I was just talking to Chris Hope here before I hopped on with Brian, and we were talking about all the rain that you guys are having over there.
The only way I keep flying is with this little thing. 'Cause I can fly it in the house.
There you go. And that's what Chris was saying too.
Get up the tiny whoops.
Yeah. Now our biggest thing is here in California they call it May gray and June gloom. It's in the morning typically, although this morning we did have sun visible coming up first thing this morning, but in the afternoon the clouds just start rolling in off the water and it sucks it all the way in. For where my project is, I can typically come in about 3 o'clock in the afternoon if I'm heading back this way, starting about 3, and that cloud cover will already be like 2. Hey, you're clear as a bell.
No, not really.
See how it goes. No, I'm not.
Compared to what he was.
Well,
No,
compared to what it was, it's clearer.
yeah,
So we'll put that down to crappy internet.
you're out of focus now.
Yeah. No, the setting for my camera was set on 720, so I bumped it back up to 1080. Said, well, maybe it's still, yeah, that's the internet connection then. Hey, TexArch drone guy, how's it going? Who else we got in there? Love my drones. Hey, Ed, I think I sent you a link if you want to pop in. If not, there's one somewhere up in the chat somewhere.
Yeah.
I just put in.
TexArch on drone guy, the guy that cleaned up all the giveaways last week.
So,
Yeah.
so Kai, did you get your spin up ticket yet? Or are you
Yeah,
going to?
I won one last night.
Oh, you won one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was out doing drone stuff, so I missed Ken's thing. So you won.
Oh,
I had already bought one, and then they were doing the giveaway, and they said if you already have one, they'd refund. So screw it. I punched in a date, and I happened to be the first one to get it right. So
Good deal.
Yeah.
Congratulations, man. How about you, Steve? You coming?
I'm clearing my schedule now for it.
we don't want any more Californians in Texas. Sorry.
Well, if I come there, I won't be bringing the political aspect of California to Texas. I can guarantee you that.
No, Steve does not definitely go that way. You got to be careful with Steve too. He can get a right-wing channel in trouble.
As long as they ain't a wing nut, we're good.
Yeah. That's what happened to me actually at the first spin up. I stayed an extra day. So I was flying back on Monday, and I went to a restaurant, which was just across the parking lot at the hotel we were in for spin up 1. And I was in there, and on a Sunday, typically there's not that many people, in most restaurants. And I just asked him if I could just sit at the bar and have dinner. So I was talking with the bartender. We got into talking about wine, which I have a passion for. And everything was going good. And then I started mentioning about California wines. And in California, and every waitress and every waiter in the thing, it was like I had the plague. I mean, service went to hell, everything like that. And I asked the bartender, I said, did I say something wrong? He says, it's not you, it's where you're from. Because here in Austin, the Californians are moving here. So they sell their home here. And this is what he was telling me. They sell their home here and they can come over here and buy 2 homes.
2 homes,
They
yep.
buy the homes, they lease out the other one. They're not bringing anything else into it, and they're taking money out, and they're coming here for the tax benefit.
Yep.
And it's raised the prices of all the homes through the roof. I says, well, honest, I'm not moving here. I like Texas. I have friends here. And I go, I'm not doing that. And we got back to talking about wine, and then everything kind of just evolved into a more calmer situation. And it was like the plague had left me and it was okay to be around.
Hey, 'cause
No,
missed
I
that.
know. I know that the moving stuff for a fact. I worked for Potts, the storage containers.
Yeah.
Yeah, we get a boatload of containers in out of California, and
Mhm.
nothing going back that direction.
Yeah.
We had to send empties back over there.
Yeah. I think the funny thing was, and I was surprised it was not only that. This is a month ago. I heard that 180 some thousand people had moved out of California, but the kicker was, out of New York City, 3.5 million people have left New York City in 2020.
Well, I can't say I blame them.
Yeah.
But a
As long
lot
as
of
they don't come, as long as they don't come to Texas, I don't care.
a
what.
lot of them will just move to neighboring states like Connecticut and Pennsylvania.
Mhm.
So
My personal opinion is all those Californians just move them over to Houston.
they're coming.
Just move them over to
Okay,
Houston. And
headquarters here?
Houston has this unique way of dealing with foreigners or strangers. So, I know there's a lot of bayous around Houston.
Good place to hide bodies. Anyway,
I didn't say that.
I did. Because I missed TNL last night, I don't know if Kelly covered this or not, but have y'all noticed the location that he has this thing going on at? It's Cedar Park, Texas.
Recreation Center, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's in Cedar Park, which is not
Yeah.
actually Austin. I mean, it's near. It's like a suburb of Austin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Round Rock, where it was
Yeah.
originally.
See, I'm gonna make this one a 2-dayer. I'm gonna be there for the second day this time. And Ray Kelly, Tesla, and SpaceX, they moved to. They're in Dallas, Ray Kelly. Dallas is another country here in Texas. They don't count. In fact, they're a non-entity.
I had to be in Dallas on Wednesday. Thank you very much.
But no, I'm going to be there for 2 days, and the one thing I wanted to do after spin up, after the presentations, go get a quick dinner, and I mean quick because what I want to get done, I'm hoping to get done, and that's to drone the state capitol.
That was cool.
I hope like hell there's not a UT game, because if there is, nothing will fly anywhere in downtown Austin. It was
Right.
that last year last spin up when I was there. I was
Yeah.
really
2 years ago.
so. I'm hoping to be able to do something like that because I love doing downtown early evening shots. Although it'll be dark by then, by November 6th. So I'm gonna have to see how that works. But no, another thing too about, in case anybody's not aware, Austin has become a large homeless camp. I-35 is elevated, and it is one long homeless camp. You have to either cross it or go drive parallel to it or over it to get anywhere in Austin, just about, if you're going to get there by the freeway.
Mhm.
And that can make for some not so safe things, which I'm sure that's probably why Kelly moved it to where he did.
Well, I mean, the mayor of Austin has tried his darnest to sell his hotels to the city of Austin so they could house the homeless. Okay. He's working on it.
Hey,
Yeah.
Chris.
Brian, hello. Steve, Kai,
Hello, Chris.
how y'all
Long
doing?
time no talk to.
Yeah, what seemed like it's only about 15 minutes ago.
Howdy, Chris.
What we all
Mike.
doing?
D&D. We're just having our little phone chat we do sometimes on Fridays on my way home.
Chris, you called me at Christmas Eve and everything. I miss those calls, man. I mean, it's just like
Well,
my
all right.
holidays were made, and it's been so dead ever since.
Okay, get ready, buddy. You need to quit. You need to just lay off the homeless stuff because
Most
homeless.
nights now, ever since I got this Air 2, most nights I'm out flying. Maybe not
You've got-
downtown, because I'm putting this thing up there either near dark or at dark, because I'm trying to take advantage of that 20 megapixel with a 1-inch sensor. And so far, it's come out pretty darn good. I'm pretty happy with it.
you kind of got me wanting to go to my little town here and get a night shot. Maybe not night, but sundown, 30 minutes after sundown shot of downtown.
Yeah, I was going to say, because 15 to 30 minutes after sundown is actually the better time. You know, I took a shot. Like I said, most of my stuff is, I like downtown shots because they're so vibrant, but they don't have to be. I took this one. Let me do a share screen here in a very small town east of me. And it's just, oh no, that's the wrong picture. Hang on, guys. I'm going to show this one anyway. The hell with y'all.
Okay.
This was from last night too, this is why I got confused, because it looks similar to this. This is downtown. That is a skate park, but that's not what I wanted to show you. Where is that damn thing? There we go.
Yeah, it's your internet speed. You can tell because of the buffering. We saw the delay.
Where is this thing?
Yeah, the only one that I know I can remember is Spin Up 2 that got a flight over there at the Capitol. I know Billy Kyle went down there and he flew there, and one other person went down there. I don't remember who it was. You remember?
Don't know flew there.
I know we walked it at nighttime.
But I mean, this is
no fly zone.
You can do something like this in any small town in Texas on a Friday or Saturday night, either baseball or football.
Yeah, Friday night lights.
Like 30 minutes after sundown, because you can still see some light in the sky.
Yeah.
But that Air 2S takes some awesome pictures at night, and that's what I'm real happy about.
The sensor is a big improvement.
And the only reason you take pictures at night is because they won't let you out during daytime hours.
That's right. So you mean, you just got to scratch that cage till they let you out.
Yep.
That ankle monitor goes off at 6 o'clock, doesn't come back on until 6 the next morning, is what you're saying?
We'll just have to believe your expertise.
I've learned to defeat that thing. Well, there's ways.
But your state capitol, without a doubt, is gorgeous. It is a beautiful building to see at nighttime. It is beautiful.
I told my wife, I said, look, if I can't get that shot that Saturday night, because there could be a football game, I will come home Sunday night after dark, because I'm going to get that shot.
Yeah.
I
know they flew from the parking structure away from it because you can't take off on the grounds. That was not allowed. But I know from the parking structure, they went to the parking structure, took up, and then they flew the dome, and that was legal.
See, and that's another thing. I was talking to my buddy Steve Hyde earlier. Mm-hmm. He takes fantastic night shots of Houston.
Yeah.
And he's been to Austin. His kid goes to UT, and he's taken some incredibly good shots. And luckily, I can tell where he was standing to get the shot. So I kind of know where to go. And it's nowhere near the Capitol. But he didn't have to fly far either, because Steve is kind of good. Well, he's kind of funny in some. He doesn't really like to fly his drone too far. He's very cautious, I've noticed. I met him for the first time last night. He's very cautious. So he always keeps a visual line of sight. Oh, he has another plus too. His wife is almost always with him. She flies too. And when she's not flying, she's spotting for him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you don't want to fly alone either, Brian, in Austin, downtown Austin. You said it earlier.
That's what I'm saying. Between the homeless thing,
too much vacancy.
It's going to be me and Mr. Smith and Wesson. All three of us. We're there. We're good.
Yeah. Thing about it, come that time, you don't even have to have a CHL license no more. Governor signs a bill September 1st. That goes into effect.
Well, I wish they hadn't have done that. Tell you the truth, Chris.
To be honest with you, I feel the same way. I think we ought to have a CHL class before you're allowed to carry a gun.
Yeah, I agree.
Couldn't agree more with the.
The only thing now that's stopping anybody from getting a gun who shouldn't have one, like felons, is a background check. And how accurate are those things? And they can be defeated too. You go in there with a false ID, and I'm him. Oh, okay. Yeah, he's got a good record.
Well, here in California,
it's my record.
Yeah. Here in California, I mean, you've got to sit there and give up your first child and everything else in your home in order to get one. And
Yeah, but we
'Cause
don't
when-
want Californians to have guns.
well, I had a concealed weapon permit, and I did for my business, and I was allowed to have one. But this was the real funny thing, just like what Brian said. I went to our local sheriff's department, which is a county sheriff's department. So I go in. Well, I had owned a liquor store here in the state. You go get fingerprinted and everything. So I go in and I'm going through the background check, and you have to be fingerprinted. And they go, "Oh, we can't issue a permit." I go, "Why can't you issue me a permit? We have already your fingerprints on file." And it was like, yeah. Have you bothered looking as to why my fingerprints are on file? I said I had to be fingerprinted in order to possess a liquor license, and that's the purpose of the gun, to be carrying at nighttime over for the business. And it was just like,
Don't you love bureaucracy?
oh Lord, help us.
It's wonderful.
Those are supposed to be in two separate databases, just by the way.
What's that?
Those fingerprints are supposed to be in two separate databases.
Well, not when it's within the same county, same agency that it's in, because the sheriff's department is issuing the concealed weapon permit. They are not the federal government or the state. The county is.
You got to have a permit from the county too.
The county issues the permits in Orange County. This is decades ago, though, Kai. This is back in the mid '70s.
Did they even have? What was that? Trebuchets back then.
I'm sorry.
What was already guns? So did they still call them trebuchet or something?
I don't know what they do
Rock
now.
things.
Now here's somebody.
Mr. Ray.
Howdy, Ray.
Hey,
Ray.
Brian, Steve, Kai, and Chris. How you guys doing?
Good, sir. How are you?
Good, thanks.
Glad to have you, Ray. I haven't seen you in one of my streams in a while now.
I'm glad to be here. I tell you.
He's always traveling.
Hey,
Look at
Ray.
his Facebook page, and he's all over the place.
Ray,
They go out for early bird specials.
Ray, I got a story for you. Where you at in Long Island?
I'm out in Shoreham. You know where that is?
Vaguely. Okay.
North Shore, by Wading River, Rocky Point.
Okay, I know where Rocky Point is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, what I was going to tell you was I lived in Selden for about 14 months when I was a kid, right after my dad died.
Okay.
It was the idyllic scene to grow up in, right? But my mom was semi-crazy, so we ended up moving elsewhere.
Oh.
But anyway, I always had fond memories of that. It was the one and only house we ever owned. It had a basement, had a big backyard, like about a half acre back there. So I went back in '07 to catch up with a bunch of relatives I haven't seen since my dad died, 35 years. Went out to that house in Long Island, knocked on the door, nobody there, left a note with 2 pictures that I had taken, my mom took, back in 1970. Never heard a word from him till a week ago.
They finally reached out.
Their son contacted me. He went through every Brian Mackey finally, and he hit the right email. He goes, "Are you Brian Mackey Selden?" And I answered. I said, "Yeah." So we've been going back and forth on Facebook.
Oh my God.
They remodeled the house and everything, but his parents just weren't into it. They didn't care.
No.
But
Yeah, but that's good.
he's like my age, so it kind of connected. That was a pretty good connection there. That was kind of neat.
How long did you live on Long Island, Brian?
Not even a little bit more than a year, like 13, 14 months.
Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But no, man, that was one of my. Given my dad had died the year before, that was a bad time followed by a really good time. So that's why I was stuck in my head.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that was bizarre. I mean, he moved in 2 years after we moved out, grew up there. It was just unbelievable. You come across people like that out of the blue through social media once again.
Well, I grew up in New York City until I was about 13. Well, 13, and my mom died. My father had died already, and I went out and lived with my aunt and uncle in Massapequa. I don't know if you know where that is.
Oh yeah.
So I went to high school there, graduated, and started college. Dropped out of college, switched over to night school, and got drafted. So I did 2 years in Massachusetts, and then I came back. Well, I became a cop up there for about 2.5 years, and then I came back to Long Island. And I've been
That's one
here.
thing It's one thing I liked about Texas when I first came here. I said, "Oh, they have Indian names just like they do in New York." There's Nacogdoches and Nachitas and Wacko.
It's a big state, I'll tell you.
I get out of the plane. First came to Texas. I'm in the service. Look up at the thing. Wacko, Texas? Really? Wacko.
Yeah, Wacko. You know what that stands for, and I'm going to say this, and it was a joke. It was a bad joke. It's a bad
By the way,
joke
it's
now.
Waco.
But when the Branch Davidians were held up in that house, Waco stood for "We ain't coming out."
Yeah, okay. Yeah, they didn't come out.
No, they didn't.
They burnt them down, right? If I
They
remember.
burned them down. Burned them to
Yep.
the ground. Sure did. Brian, I've done a little research on flying at the state capitol. It's absolutely looks like a no-no.
Well, now, when I say about flying the state capitol, I'm not saying near it. The shots that I'm looking for are a good ways away, but it's in the shot.
Yeah.
Because actually, the state capitol by itself is really nothing much. It's the surrounding
You gotta
environment.
have all the lights and stuff with it.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Well, before we go to Austin, we'll do a little research, a little more, and see if we can find
Oh, I'm going to.
a sidewalk
I'm
where we
going to check
stand
it
on.
out because
If
I mean,
you're
I'll pull up
down,
the flight charts and
if you're
everything
down
else.
in Austin, you want to get a picture of the Frost Bank building too.
Yeah.
The owl.
Mhm.
Do you know the story behind the Frost Bank building?
No.
I'm going to hear it.
Apparently, the boss of Frost Bank and the architect were. Where do they use the owl for mascot?
Uh,
What college is that again?
That's Rice.
Rice,
Yeah.
Rice University. They were both
Ah.
graduates of Rice. And when they built that Frost building in the middle of downtown, when you look at it on a corner, it looks like an owl's head up top.
Okay.
So they planted an owl smack dab middle of Longhorn country.
College rivalries. Boom.
Yep. Now,
Let me ask you guys, how far is San Antonio from Austin or Cedar Park?
2 more hours in the car.
about an hour and a half.
Hour and a half.
Hour and a half?
Yeah.
If there's no traffic on I-35.
Yeah, exactly.
I know how to get around that traffic. Well,
I
traffic
could go there too.
will never hit 35.
Is the Riverwalk and the Alamo worth the trip to go see?
Very much.
Yeah.
Very much.
The Riverwalk, but I daggum sure go see the Alamo.
Yeah.
Well, you can't go see
you
one without
can't
the
have
other.
both of them into one day.
I was
You
going to
can.
say, it's just right there.
But the Riverwalk is a big mall, and it's
Well, it's a big mall with restaurants and a sewer next to it.
And it's
Exactly.
not worth taking that boat ride in the river
Oh,
there?
for you, Ray, it would be. For me, I'd be more interested into the Alamo because it's Texas history.
Oh, definitely. I definitely want to go there.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to go back. I mean, I haven't been there since I was in the service back in 1972.
Well, Steve,
From basic training, and I know the grounds compared to what it used to be is like totally changed.
man, it's crazy. Kai probably seen it since I have, but the last time I saw it, you're driving along, then boom, there's the Alamo, and then boom, there's a 30-story, 100-story building beside it.
Yeah.
It's just one little block now, and that's it.
Hmm.
It's a very
It's
small
about
building, right? The Alamo? It's a small building?
It's
not
fairly
very-
small, man.
It's not huge, Ray. I'm trying to think of a reference.
I mean, the grounds that everything sits on, maybe about the size of 2 football fields.
Maybe
Two
square
football fields? That's
Yes.
pretty big.
square them up, make them 300 by 300 instead of a 300 by 100.
Okay.
feet wise, or 300 by 2 football fields long, and maybe 2 wide,
Mm-hmm.
because you got the Alamo, then you got the front and the big marble statue with all them guys fighting and a saying underneath it. Then off to the, I guess that's the north of it, Kai. There's another little annex.
Yeah, well, that big marbles thing is moving.
I don't even want to know why. I know why now. I remember you telling me that. No, I remember reading about that, but you just reminded me why it's moving.
Yeah.
That was one of the best
they want
I've
to.
ever seen. The Alamo.
Sir,
I enjoyed that movie, The Alamo.
the first one or second one?
No, I don't know. I only saw one.
The second one had
The Gatling gun, right? Didn't he have a Gatling gun or something in there?
The first one had John Wayne in it.
the second
Yeah,
one had Billy.
Okay.
Ray.
The second one
Billy Bob
has Dennis Quaid
Wasn't it Billy Bob Thornton in the second one too?
and Billy Bob. Yep.
Yeah. That's great. He's the goofiest looking actor.
But when you stop and think about get a little history, you think about the Alamo, and you think about the grounds where they fought off these guys for I forget how many days, and how many that lives were lost in the fight before they got overran.
Yeah.
What they did for them few days was crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't see any drone footage of the Alamo. I don't know that I've ever looked.
But
No, I've never seen any.
I don't think
That's
I've
a
ever looked for any.
natural historic site. There's no way they're going to let that happen.
There's no way. No way. No.
Like you said, Brian, you think people would fly a distance away and maybe zoom in on it or whatever.
You
I
can.
know.
It's so
It's in a
enclosed by tall buildings. You want
Yeah, that's another thing too. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
It's in a hole.
I got you.
Yeah, I saw a
if you're going to
video.
fly down there, the only place you can fly is the Tower of the Americas.
And that's
And
pretty
there's
nice.
plenty of people that went over there to take flight over the Tower of the Americas.
Michael Wright said that a while ago too. That's in Class G airspace.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I saw a travel video. That's what I'm saying. I saw the changes to what I could remember being there clear back in the 70s versus what it is now. And it is exactly what you say. It's like this really nice grounds that they fixed up around it. And then it's nothing but high rises all the way around the whole place.
Kai, if it's Class G, man, we need to go do a tower dive.
Sounds like fun. That's doable.
Hey, Brian, have you switched over to the FPV too now, haven't you?
I didn't
Right.
switch. I'm easing into it.
Oh,
Like I was telling earlier, I did get on a roll with the FPV. I've got my acro on the Tiny Hawk 2 up to about 1 minute and 15 seconds before it grounds itself. And that's
okay.
an improvement because everything else, what was it? 2 days ago, I said, okay, I am flying. I only had 5 batteries, nothing but acro. And it was the fourth battery. I said, oh man, because it's got that little timer down there. I was going, good deal, 1 minute and 15, bam, right to the ground. and that's the other thing. Seeing as how I got you and Kai here, what is the deal? When I'm in acro, okay, I'm used to regular drone flying where I can yaw with the left and pitch to the left just fine. I can do it in stabilized mode just fine. It just moves nice. You do it in acro, and it's like a kamikaze straight to the ground.
Oh man, you got to pull back on the stick.
Go.
Which
I was just going to say, look at your stick rates. You might want to flatten that out a little bit.
What about you, Steve? Did you switch over to FPV yet? No.
No, I'm trying to save the rest of my friends in the drone community. So I'm going to be the savior to bring them all back to reality.
Yeah. You and me both.
I've learned to fly acro and leave it in acro, Brian. It's
Okay,
a whole,
and that's
it's
what
a
I'm
whole lot
trying to-
easier.
Now, okay, there's Ed at Love My Drone saying when you turn, use both sticks. That's
Exactly.
what I was doing, and I would pitch No matter if whatever direction I was turning, left or right, I would pitch into the ground, left, into the ground, right. And
What
the other
time-
thing I was
what-
trying to do is,
what
okay,
time of the
maybe I'm using the roll too much. I'll pull back on the throttle and ease it up and give it, and ease up on the yaw to the left. No, it was just a slower pitch straight into the ground.
It would be
get it.
very
I'm getting there.
frustrating for me. I know I'd be crashing it and breaking it, and then I couldn't fix it. It would just be too frustrating.
Well,
Well, that's part of the fun. Fixing
that's
that.
why I like the Tiny Hawk too, Ray. I mean, I've crashed. Let's put it like this: 92% of my flights end up in a crash. That's why
Well,
it's good to
for
start with that.
FPV, that's about normal.
Yeah, that first
You
video
know,
I
you
put
know
up,
what they say, right? If you fly the GPS drone, you crash, you done something wrong. If you
Yeah.
fly an FPV and you don't crash, you did
you're
something
doing
wrong.
something wrong.
There you go.
The thing about it is, like in stabilized mode, I think I showed in one of the videos, I actually got within a foot of the landing pad. And that was just one time. I did it 3 more times. And on another one, I was like an inch off the landing pad and just said, whoop, and I moved it right onto the landing pad. Because I'm trying to get accurate with it too. And forget it. Acro is, right now, there is no accuracy in acro. I just want to stay aloft.
Just get to where you hover over the pad and just disarm. Let it drop.
Yeah, but then you still got forward momentum because I'm coming in at like a 45-degree angle.
That's
Kamikaze.
okay. It'll stop.
Yeah, it'll stop.
The ground will stop it.
It's not the fall; it's a sudden impact.
I can't tell you how many. Well, I'm on my 3rd Tiny Hawk, but I can't tell you how many times I've crashed them and crashed them and crashed them and
Yeah.
crashed them.
Oh, that's another thing, Chris. I'm going to get another one of these just for the fun of it, because eventually, I'm sure I've already put the damn thing in water twice now. I've had to dry it out twice, and it still flies. But I know sooner or later I'm going to ruin something, and I just want to have another one of these, even if I don't use it anymore. This thing is fun, just to know I can just crash. It's like, okay, it's going to crash. Who cares?
Well, here's the thing, Brian. You've got some goggles now.
Yeah.
And you can sit in your lawn chair and scan
sweat.
a channel and sweat and scan a channel and watch somebody else fly. That's fun too.
Yeah.
I never thought of that. I mean, there's nobody near where I'm flying, but that's kind of
No, but if you go, say you come to spin up and there's a bunch of them flying, all you just put your goggles on, push a deal to tell it to scan.
I know how to change
boom.
the channel on it. Yeah, that's pretty
You'll
cool.
find somebody and ride along with them.
That's what Jerry Caverly did for me. He brought all those goggles, remember, Chris, for me to try on,
Yep.
and watching him flying so I could see it. But it's a good thing the dugout fence was behind me because I put my back into the fence because I started moving as he was flying.
It's fun. We've done it with Kai. I've rode with Kai. No, I haven't rode with Kai because Kai flies digital, but I've rode with Chris Waters. Jerry, I've rode with Jerry before. Just in between me flying, I just sit in the chair and watch them guys fly.
No, with me, you were too busy having heart attacks.
And see, I'm looking at Jim's droning comment, and he's saying what I think I'm doing wrong, and this is it too: is hardly move the right stick in the beginning. That's because the thing about it is you know how it is when you start out. You're going to overcompensate. It's like, oh damn, it's going that way. Let's go back the other way, and next thing you know, you're going down the other way anyway. And I know that's what I'm doing. I gotta learn to level it out and keep it there.
These guys in the chat and Kai practice. Just go fly.
Yeah.
That's the only way you're going to learn it.
Practice.
The
Practice.
liftoff sim. The liftoff sim is good, but I'm finding out because after those first couple times I flew the Tiny Hawk, I said, let me go back to the sim. They're close, but they're not the same, not by any means. That sim uses high-powered quads. Tiny Hawk is not high-powered quad. So there is a difference. I mean, the reaction times are way different than even on a sim, but it does give you a good idea.
It is fun.
We need to put you on like my Titan 5-inch 6S.
I guess you don't want that one anymore, do you? Okay.
It survived Sunrise Water Media, so
Oh, Chris. Hey, Brian,
Yeah.
have you fell down trying to fly it yet?
Let's put it like this. No, I have not, but I've learned, okay, I need to bring a chair.
Exactly.
Because I'll start leaning, and a couple of times I noticed, because I can stand there. I know I'm pretty like aware, self-aware, but at the same time I can say, okay, my legs are moving. Like I say, my legs are moving. Stop that.
Man, I was down there at the school flying the Tiny Hawk 2, the freestyle, and I was having fun. Next thing I know, I felt my upper body doing this. The next thing I know, I was on the ground.
Oh, damn. What you didn't knock your knees, did you?
I had, bam. And as I was going down, I killed it. And I said, good God, where did it go? I knew I was on the football field and kind of had an idea. Then, but of course, I got up and I took my goggles off and I looked around to see who was watching me. I learned my lesson. I done watch these guys fly. I've watched Dono and Ed and all that. They stand around, they fly and all this kind of crap. Next thing I know, my big butt's on the ground.
Yeah.
Mitch, old guy, he's got the right way to do it. Sit down,
Exactly.
light up a stogie if you need to, and just relax. Put your head down.
You're right, Chris. I can understand exactly what would have happened to you because when I was just riding along with Jerry, like I say, if it wasn't for that fence behind me, I would have gone down.
You got Michael McReynolds over here in the chat. He's gotten good at this too.
Really?
Flying D&D. Oh yeah, a bunch of these guys that started off with camera drives like myself. Me and Steve talked about this a while ago. Now they're multitasking. They're doing both.
And there's another thing too. Okay, I will never ever stop loving my GPS camera drones because I love what I can do. I love the video edit. I love to play with the photography. But here's what I want to get to eventually in maybe a year or two. I want to get into the digital FPV, be it the regular stuff or DJI. I want to be able to combine those two assets. Take a GPS drone in one particular scene and meld it with an FPV drone. A good example is that video I showed earlier with me using the Insta360 from the waterfall and turning it around into a drone video. There's all kinds of shit that's up here that I can use that FPV stuff for once I learn this stuff.
Well, when they get us the program was to air to us and have it flying with goggles, then you'll have what you need.
It wouldn't be the same though. I mean, because the drone itself is not made to go fast, and you got to have a certain amount of speed to be able to get the kind of shots that I've got sitting up here waiting to be done.
You hold on to that thought, but I got to get out of here because I've got my own thing to get ready for.
Yep.
Hey, well, thanks for coming.
Chris for me.
Good to see you, sir. Have a good weekend.
You too. We'll see you later. Bye.
It's Friday night Mexican food night. I got to roll.
I hear you, man.
Okay.
We'll see you guys somewhere tonight. Y'all
Thanks
take
for
care.
coming in, Chris. I appreciate it.
All right, Chris.
Take
See
care,
you,
everybody.
Chris.
I noticed ever since Chris came in, I've been clear.
Yeah.
What's up with that?
Yeah, you're nice and clear now.
Dude.
It was that fellow Texan internet that you joined together and you harmonized across the United States.
Actually, though, you know what I did, Steve? It had nothing to do with it, but I said, let me pull up a speed test. And the speed test was fine. I'm just going, okay, so it doesn't look like, but speed test doesn't mean everything. You could be losing packets.
Yeah.
So it doesn't show everything. But at the same time, right after that speed test, I noticed my picture went clear. I said, what the hell?
Really?
Bizarre. How you been doing, Ray? I've been kind of following you lately.
I'm good. I tried something new this week. I flew the drone from my kayak, my Air 2, but I did it while I was at the shoreline.
Wait a minute. Were you sitting in your kayak on the shore?
It's called the training wheels were on.
I figured that was the safest place just in case.
Yeah, it was.
But then I took it up, and no sooner do I take it up and I get the manned aircraft warning. I started looking around, and sure enough, here comes a low-flying military helicopter with a gunship on the front. Gunship. So I brought it right back down, and went back up. But I got some good shots of the kayak on the water and the harbor, so it was fun. And the Air 2 came back in one piece.
There you go, man. It's always the best thing. I'll tell you what, man. The Air 2.
Go ahead, Brian.
No, it's my go-to, man.
Where are the guns on your Air 2S though?
No, yeah, I'm gonna have to get some mounted. I think
you could have sent it back up after the other chopper.
And by the way, just so everybody knows, yeah, I love this FPV stuff, and I can see me throwing tons of money at it over the next couple of years. But I am getting that Mini SE when it comes out. I always wanted the Mini as a replacement for my Spark, because you can get into some really good spots with a small bird like that. And I'm just
somebody posted the price at Walmart. The sticker
$299.
So that's a great price, really.
I think DJI is just trying to knock every bit of their competition on their ass.
Yeah. That's what I think it is. It's a marketing to go after because they knew that Hubsan is coming out with that their new little Mini.
Hubsan and the Femi.
Yeah, and the Femi.
DJI is just taking a bead right on both of those with that price point.
Yeah. And
exactly.
What they're going to, at that point, less than $300, and especially now coming in towards, people are starting to save up for Christmas time and, the holidays, you save up, you can buy a $300 drone that's going to be, leaps and bounds above the competition.
Every time I go out, especially to places like downtown Houston, I will be approached by, man, what does it take to get a drone? How expensive are they? And when I say $1,000, it's like they don't want to.
Well, that's different. Yeah.
And you say $300. Yeah, they're going to sell a shit ton of these things.
But the Mini 2, is $399, right? Or is it $499?
Yeah, no, it's $399. But this Mini SE is going to be $299.
Yeah, it's going to be $100 less. But I'll tell you what, my a guy, he's the manager of the church next door to the building, the project I have going on. He went and bought two of them. He's got two of them going on.
You get two, right?
And then he goes down. He goes, I got a problem. I go, what's that? He goes, I went down to Best Buy, which is probably about 1.5 miles from where we're at, 2 miles. And he goes, they don't have any more. I go, why? He says, I bought them all out. They didn't have it. He goes, I got 10 batteries now for it.
That's great. That's great. Well, my son was thinking about getting into drones, and I originally asked him if he wanted the Mini for Christmas. And he said, no, I'm going to get a little better drone, So, I'm waiting for him to drone, and almost a year goes by, and then they had that Prime Day sale on Amazon where you could get the Fly More combo for the original Mini for $399. So I asked him again. I says, if you want it, I'll buy it for you and send it to you. He says, okay. And he loves it. To be honest with you, he loves it.
Yeah. Well, if I was to get out and travel, to get out of the country and to go places, that's one thing I would do. I wouldn't take one of my drones that I have now. I'd go buy a Mini. Hello, Ed.
Hey, Ed. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing all right.
I'd buy a Mini. I'd buy a Mini so you could fly it technically in any country, being under the 249 grams.
Well, I don't know if you guys
a great bird.
I know I've said it on some other live streams, but I sleep with my Mini.
No, I've actually considered getting one. So,
like I said,
Steve, Brian, okay, this is the front of the drone. Okay,
that's the Demon, though. That's the Chris Hope Demon that I'm going to get in a few more months.
Okay, well,
That's a cute one, Ed.
It's the freestyle. Okay,
Yeah.
so what what I want you to understand with your turns, Brian, is it's not a DJI. It's not flying level like this.
Yeah,
It's
you're at a pitch.
usually flying
You know,
like
you've got a the minute you hit that throttle. I mean, I've watched it without the goggles. You're at a pitch like this all the time.
right. So when you turn, you use both roll and a little yaw at the same time. But as
And
soon
that's
as
what I'm
you
doing.
go
And that
like
thing is
that,
pitching right into the
as
ground.
soon as you roll like that, then a little bit of back pitch pulls it on around and you make your turn.
Okay, yeah. Now the one time that I kept it up for 1:15, I tried that, and that's how I kept it up for 1:15.
Because
But it
what
was-
you're doing is when you roll and you yaw too, you're yawing it right into the ground.
Okay, yeah, because say if you're yawing or you're turning left, so you're using your left thumb, you're in the camera, which is your throttle thrust, but at the same time, if you're going to pull to the left, when you pull to the left, you're going to start pulling that thing down almost automatically to where you're not getting the same.
That's something you have to work on because that is probably happening too, because I had that issue as well. So you gotta, and technically, if you are flying like this, it's so backwards in the camera, it's hard to demonstrate. But the more you roll, the more pitch becomes yaw.
Yeah,
If that makes,
makes
any
sense,
sense.
yeah.
And
Yep.
that's why I say flying a drone in acro mode is more like flying a plane.
you're right.
Because in a plane, it's
Yeah,
the same thing.
You're using more
When you
aeronautical.
go to a 45-degree angle, now your pitch, or what would be your horizontal stabilizer, is also acting as the rudder. So that's why you have to mix the control. So when you turn, you use both. If you want to turn left, you yaw a little bit left as you're rolling left as well. Well, like in a plane, the roll is aileron. You always use ailerons when you turn in a plane.
And see, just from that little experience with the Tiny Hawk, I went back onto liftoff because every time I put acro on liftoff, I'm shooting 200 or 300 feet into the air. As soon as you, and I said, I got to quit doing that. So I learned just from the Tiny Hawk what I took from the Tiny Hawk back into liftoff, and I didn't go as hard on that thrust. And you don't need much on that liftoff.
Right.
You're in the air and you're cruising at like 10, 20 feet, and then you can play with the right and the left. Right side. Right hand.
To me, the best thing about the simulators is learning how to coordinate your turn.
It's muscle.
I
memory.
have never gotten liftoff to fly like any of my birds do in real life.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. If anything, I've gotten to be able to fly better in liftoff because of the Tiny Hawk than the other way around. So, Ray, have we got you convinced yet? It's only $120.
Well, Christmas is coming. You just never know. Might be on my list.
Yeah.
The thing about it is,
the
I know
DJI 3 may come out.
Hey Ray. So here's the thing that I think if you want to try it out is buddy up with somebody that already has this stuff and see if they can teach you to fly. Like maybe Drone Mafia or Charlie Mafia, Drone Psyche, excuse me.
Charlie,
and you got
Charlie
that.
Mafia
You got
and
the prick
Charlie
guy.
had Drone Psyche.
Drone Psyche. Yeah, because
And
the
don't forget
reason
the prick.
being is the problem with the kit is the kit does not record, the goggles don't record or whatever, and you can decide whether I really want to do this or not. And if you decide you want to do it, then part of that money is wasted because you bought goggles you'll never use.
right.
Although the cool thing is about the kit is if you go and get better goggles, the goggles that came with the kit, you can always use for a ride along, and it is fun to take people for a ride along.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do that to Fred when he gets back next week.
So, I mean, hey, Brian, just keep at it, dude.
Oh, yeah.
mean,
Like I said, the biggest impediment I got here is the heat. You know, and I got to walk first in the morning because I want to try to live a little longer so I can fly a little longer. So I got to get that walk in. By that time, though, it's getting pretty hot. But I've been able to squeeze out like 2 days. I'm trying to get it up to 3 days where I can get that FPV off the ground. So, but and it's like baby steps, man. A little bit more. I said, okay, yeah, I did have it in acro for 1:15 today. I never got more than 10, 15 seconds before.
man, when I first started doing acro, and what I wish the Tiny Hawk 2 had been around when I first tried to learn acro, because what I was trying to fly with was, I mean, it was still a little bird, but it had a lot of punch to it. So I kept going back to horizon mode and stuff. And just one day I made the decision, okay, I'm either going to tear this, I'm all acro. That's all I'm doing. Because when you flip flop back and forth, it makes it hard for you.
Hey, tell me
And
something. In Horizon, I don't fly in Horizon. I don't like Horizon.
it's weird, man. I don't
because
like
it doesn't seem like you have any. You can't control. It doesn't seem you have as much control because I can't really tell because the pitch never changes. You know, you're looking up, and I said, well, I'm used to that pitch being down under where I'm seeing what's in front of me, and with Horizon, I'm not getting that. What's the deal?
Oh, that's camera angle. The camera angle bumps around on that free. You got to check your screws on your camera.
Yeah, I know. Carlos told me he saw the video first. He said, raise that camera up and lock that camera down with a small screwdriver. So I've done that.
The thing is
Hey, Bill.
like I was flying one day and I bumped the power line, and it bumped the camera up, and I didn't realize it bumped the camera up. But the next time, it was only after I watched the video after, I'm like, oh wow, I'm flying a lot faster now, because the higher the camera angle, the faster you will fly.
I just realized something, man. I can hit power lines now. Ooh.
Yeah, see that, Brian?
Stay out of California. We have enough problems here as it is. We don't need some guy with a drone taking it out.
Ooh.
Did you guys get a good sunrise solar eclipse the other morning?
Not me. Nothing. We were way too late for it.
Okay, yeah.
We've nothing like I was telling Brian earlier. We've had nothing but cloud cover in the mornings and in the afternoon. So I haven't done a sunset flight in way over a month.
I got lazy. I didn't get up to do it, but a lot of people got some good shots of it here on Long Island.
Yeah, I saw Paul Drum Bum. He did a good job.
Yeah.
At first, he thought that it wasn't going to happen, and then all of a sudden, it finally peaked up because the time frame was actually what time it said it was, and then it wasn't. But you could see the moon, blocking over it really well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got up
Hey.
to Galveston about 2 weeks ago.
Hey, Bill, how you doing?
I was just getting ready to say hi to Bill at Coast to Coast.
Yeah.
I just barely popped my chat up.
I still have a hard time listening to you guys talk and reading that chat.
You on a computer, Ray, or?
Yeah, I'm on the computer and my iPad.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. When you do a live stream, when you're the host, it's like you'll see me. So my head's going like this because okay, I'm keeping up with the chat.
Well,
I'm trying
you
to.
know what you can do, Ray, is on the StreamYards, over in the right-hand corner over here, there's private chat comments. Click the comments, and you're going to see everybody's chat without having to watch the live stream.
Yeah, no, I do. I watch that too. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, hey Steve, you know I watch the ones on,
that way.
I watch the ones on YouTube though because they seem to come up faster.
They do. They beat it by sometimes it was a couple seconds, sometimes 15, 20 seconds even, the delay coming through.
So what
Right.
I do, I have 2 Chrome windows open, and one of them is just StreamYard, and then on the original Chrome, I have your YouTube thing running, and I popped out the chat. So I popped out the chat and put it over the StreamYard chat, so it's all on the same screen. I don't
That's a
have
good
to look.
idea.
I don't have
Yeah.
to look anywhere. It's right there.
I've gotten so used to it. I'm because of work, and when I have 3 monitors. So I've got YouTube sitting out over here on its own screen. The StreamYard's here for the camera, so I'm watching the camera, looking into it, and then other stuff that I have going on the side, the one.
Well, then you gotta have your head on a swivel, and this way I just look one place and I see
And
it
see,
all.
I can just turn my eyes over and look at the screen. I'm so used to multitasking onto it. I
I
can just
get
look
that.
over and glance at it. And that's one of the good things with as you get older, old farts, glasses. I've got progressive lenses, which all I do is I look with the eyes and it'll take me right on over to the other side, no problem. Oh, Brian, you just got younger.
Who's old?
Oh, look at him.
Hey, these
Change
are only
it.
readers, man.
I never had to wear glasses until I was in my
Hey.
probably late 40s, early 50s.
I
and they were
don't
for
wear,
reading.
I don't wear these with my goggles. I don't need to. And I cannot. These are only 125s. That's just about the lowest there is. And I'm just so glad I don't have to wear them because it'd be one more thing I got to deal with. Those things, the Cobra X that I got, they're made to wear over glasses, but the glasses have to be squared, not rounded like these are. And I got a pair of squared ones around here. I could wear them if I wanted to, but I'm just thinking I see everything fine.
Mhm.
Yeah,
see
my
the-
lenses, they're progressive lenses also. Yeah.
Yeah, when a lot of people seem to have a hard time with it, and I caught on within 1 week with the progressive lenses. It's great.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then these are coated with that, like what they call blue blocker, but it's a special coating for computers. So the blue light coming out of the computers,
Oh, yeah. I heard about
it saves your eye. What a world of difference! Yeah, it was worth the extra $60 to have the coating put on.
Oh,
Four-eyed Canine has a question. He wants to
I
know
saw that.
about burning the sensor.
I never have burned a sensor. For one thing, I'm usually using a filter, but that wouldn't make any difference anyway.
Yeah, I would think they'd be protected against that too.
I mean,
I always fly with a ND filter on.
the Mavic Air 2 though, I remember the first few times I did some sunset shots. It has that HDR feature. Takes an awesome sun. I mean, you got
yeah.
a round yellow ball. I love that.
Yeah.
You don't get that in almost anything else. But it has never had any effect on the sensor at all.
so Steve, is tonight your pizza night? Friday night?
Every Friday. and
Wait,
yes, they have been back open now for almost 2 months. So we can actually dine in.
Okay, good.
Go down and have a nice ice cold craft beer.
We have pizza on Sunday. It's
Yeah.
National Sunday, and I get a pizza usually.
No, Ray,
So
you
now-
get New York pizza.
Four-eyed Canine wants to know, how does that not burn your sensor? And I guess he's thinking it'd be like a magnifying glass on the actual sensor itself. And I can see some theory to that.
Yeah, I could too. Especially on that one inch sensor.
It's like staring into the sun.
In fact, now that I don't think I have not done a true sunset shot with my Air 2S since I bought it. I've done a sunrise, but the sunrise was blocked by a lot of clouds in Galveston. That came out pretty good, actually.
But when you think about it, either a sunrise or a sunset, in both cases, the sun's rays are coming through a lot more atmosphere, and
That's
that
true.
kind
They're
of
coming in at a pretty good angle when it hits the Earth atmosphere. Yeah.
so that would have a mitigating effect on burning your lens.
Okay, so what
Now,
we
if
need to
you
do then
held
is
the bird straight up at the midday sun, I
Yeah.
could see that happening.
But then again, okay, remember the parrot Anafi that had
Mhm.
it pitched the thing straight up?
Yeah.
You would think people would have been burning out their sensor with that thing, and I never heard of that one, other than the fact that the software crashed and so did the bird.
Well, most of them too are flying in automatic on their camera settings, and the moment it starts to see that bright light, it's going to shut down. Especially if you've got an aperture like the Anafi, that aperture is going to shut down. Or when you're looking at it, because I run the histogram on it, so you can see it when you're flying. And before I even get pointing up there to the sun, I'll start rotating that dial and get it down to where I'm going to bring the ISO down as low as I can get it.
No,
I tell you, a few times I tried to do it manually, it seems like I didn't have the right focus or aperture, as you guys say. So I just find it so much easier and better for me to keep it on auto.
Yeah,
well, actually, for sunset shots, you want to do auto because the light changes so fast. See, I did this a few months back with the
that's
Mavic
nice.
Air 2.
Nice.
That's an HDR shot. You can actually see the ball of the sun. And that
So
is with no
did you
filter.
color grade that, or is that raw?
That's color graded, probably, knowing me.
What's
I was trying to
that
say.
tower right there?
Luminar 4?
That is a microwave tower.
Oh, okay.
Luminar 4?
Yes. So
That's the big thing, like with my Air 2, and then the S came out, and then I was going to I was thinking about buying it, but I thought, why? The 2 is perfect for what it is, but the sensor now that's on the Air 2S is a lot better
No.
sensor.
no, I'm going to disagree with you, Steve,
Why?
No?
because like I was telling you, I got this friend of mine, Steve Hyde, here in Houston. He's been flying the 2 since it came out, and he does these spectacular photos. I'm going to have to pull up his stuff. In fact, I put his link. He's got a YouTube channel. He's only got 112. He doesn't do YouTube. It's not his thing.
Right.
You don't have, nobody needs to go over there and rate him or whatever.
I see you tag him on Facebook because I saw it today
Yeah.
looking at your
But
post.
he knows how to use that aperture. He says he doesn't use filters. He doesn't need to. The aperture, once you know where to dial it into,
Yeah.
you don't need those filters.
No, you're talking about the Pro 2.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the Air 2 or the Air 2S. Now, the
Yeah,
Pro
the Air
2 has
2S.
got an adjustable aperture, and that's what I was hoping that the Air 2S would have had an adjustable aperture.
Now that'll be on the Mavic 3 this November.
Yeah.
The Mavic 3 is going to be big bucks.
Oh yeah. And you
Well, look at the Evolve. You know that. Who knows when that thing's going to come out? Or look at the new Sony.
Speaking of which, I was looking at
That
that
one,
today.
$9,000, right? It didn't say $9,000 or 9,200.
Starting
Yeah.
at $9,000.
Then you have to buy the camera if you don't already own an Alpha or
I got a camera.
Sony camera.
Right.
But yeah, I gave that a look. See what this thing is here. Yeah.
I told Mark Fisher, I says, I see that in your future.
Is that going to be the
Sony
is that going to be his rescue drone for extracting drones out of the water?
Yeah, I know. I tell you.
Look at this beast, though. I mean,
Yeah, that's a full frame Sony Alpha camera that's on there.
Yep.
It's got something like what, a 5.5 pound or 6 pound payload that it can carry.
and those cameras don't weigh that much. I've got one.
Well, it
Now,
depends
okay.
on the lens that you put on it too.
Yeah, look, look at the lens on this one here. So yeah, it's got, you put a heavy duty lens. There's another thing. How are you going to control that stuff once it's in the air? I guess the software.
Yeah. Yeah, that was my the other thing when
with the bigger cameras and everything, don't you need a camera operator too? I was told.
It
It
works
helps.
better if you do. There is a company here in town. I run into them all the time now. Whenever I go downtown, they're always shooting some sort of commercial. They have an Inspire. They have 5 people running this one Inspire. They got 2 people downrange. One guy pilots, the other guy works the camera. One guy oversees everybody. Radio coordination. They got their shit together.
Oh yeah.
They got thrown out of the park by the cops because somebody complained.
I was watching them do a filming in San Pedro when I was out there last March, Steve, and it was the same thing. They were flying a drone to get some of the shots, and they had a crew just to fly that drone.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's a guy that's he flies like what they call bush pilots, bush planes. Trent Palmer, and he is actually a professional drone pilot. And in one of his YouTubes that he did, he showed where they were in downtown San Francisco, everything all set up, and the crews and the backup, and almost like a year of planning just to do the filming for this company, which you don't know who it is because everything was kept closed. But it was like, holy mackerels, because and they build their own drones. Between the drone and the red camera and everything on board, you were looking at probably about $250,000 for that setup just sitting there.
Exactly.
Then you had a pilot and the cinematographer.
I've seen his channel. I've seen him flying around. He's definitely got a good channel. He's a professional,
Oh yeah. I unplugged a couple of lights. Asylum Productions.
Free. Now, okay, this looks like a Tiny Hawk. Is this a freestyle?
This is a freestyle.
Oh, by the way, my wife critiques all my video, and I showed her the first video from the Tiny Hawk. She goes, "What is that garbage? What is this?"
Yeah.
Man, that's what I'd like to do.
So as your ego was deflated as you walked back to the computer.
Yeah, honey, there's nothing I'm gonna be able to fix there in post. I'm sorry.
Now, were they trying to get your drone there, Ed?
That's Ed doing that.
Right. Were they attacking your drone? Or you attacking the birds?
He's following that one. Yeah, see, now I can tell this is an air. I'd have been on the ground by now. I know that backyard.
I'm amazed the way you guys fly, Ed. I really give you a lot of credit.
Where'd Ed go?
I was going to say, where'd he go? So, Ed, is that like a 2S in there you got?
I mean, spins, twirls, going after buzzards.
The thing about it is, Ray, to me, this was always dizzying. But now that I've done it myself, it's like, this is fun. That's the kicker of this stuff. Hey, where did Ed go?
Ed got embarrassed because you were playing his video.
Oh, he put it up there.
I know.
He's seen it already, though.
He put up the link. I said, oh,
or maybe
I
he.
know it's famous for it. This is a good one, actually.
And maybe his internet dropped out.
That might have been it. Oh, yeah, that's how
Oh,
mine usually go.
Yep. Yep.
that was good.
I know.
Yeah. Nice one, Ed.
Very nice. Very, very nice.
And see, that's where I'd like to be in about another 5 or 6 months. Actually, I think I could probably do it sooner if I can practice more, because I want to get another Tiny Hawk 2, just because I know I'm going to break this one eventually. But I want to get that freestyle because it's very similar, but even more powerful. And if Chris Hope can learn, he learned on the freestyle, which is like
Yeah.
trying to learn how to do rodeo on a bronking bull the first time out.
He said it was easier for him with the larger drone than it was with the smaller one.
Well, the Tiny Hawk freestyle is almost the same size as Tiny Hawk 2. It's only a little bit bigger.
Oh, okay.
I know when I flew with Carlos and Paulie, they let me look through the goggles one time, and it was a totally different experience when you're looking through those goggles.
Oh yeah, it's almost kind of 3D-ish.
And they had warned me, you should sit down, and I did. I was sitting down.
Yeah.
And in fact, the other day, when I was finally getting the hang of acro, whereas okay, I figured out that I couldn't pitch without hitting the ground, so I'm just kind of cruising around quite a bit, and I can go up and I can go down pretty easily. And it was on the down stuff. I noticed my head was like going like this. It was actually giving me vertigo, and then it's like, whoa.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Ray, when we went to Spin Up 2, Jerry Caverly brought a bunch of goggles for me to try because wearing glasses. And then I was hooked up to him while he was flying. And I was telling Brian and Chris, those guys earlier, and because Chris was there. Thank goodness the dugout was behind me, because I reached behind it, I backed myself, and I leaned into the dugout because I was starting to move. And like Chris said, he fell over. He just fell over flying.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's a totally different type of flying, that's for sure.
Kind of like Star Wars, like being in a starfighter and going
No,
for it.
I'd actually put it akin to being in a jet fighter.
Yeah.
But even then, it's not different, because when you're in a jet, you can pivot your head a
You've
certain
got,
way.
you've got your peripheral vision all around you.
Yep. Where is this?
But that is awesome. It's awesome to be in a fighter jet. Let me tell you.
And in fact, I have a stand-in for Fred on the walking thing, and we were doing war stories yesterday morning. I was in Army Aviation, and towards the end of my tour, one of the perks is you get to go up, and at the time these were Cobra attack helicopters, you get to go up in the front seat, because the gunner in the back has to qualify every month and shoot all your munitions, 7.62 Gatling,
Yeah.
2.75 rockets, tow missiles, all this good stuff. So he's done. The bird is hundreds of pounds lighter.
Mhm.
He goes, okay, let's go for the ride. And I go, yeah, okay, I've heard about this. I'm ready. No, you're not. He does. Pulls into a steep climb,
Yeah.
brings it up about 4,000 feet, pitches over to the side, rolls it over. So now you're going straight down. You're in the front seat of a Cobra. You have almost a 360 view on all sides, and all you see is ground coming up at you. And I was going, okay, this is part of the deal. I hope I live through this. About 200 or 300 feet off the ground, they pulled it up. First question he asked, he goes, is it in your pants or on your pants?
And did you bless yourself?
What he meant, he goes, is it? And I said, neither. I just, what I did do is, because I knew it was coming, I got the giggles. I couldn't stop laughing, and it made him mad. He goes, oh, we're going around again.
Brian.
Yeah, it is. I was really fortunate enough because of my position for medical aerovac. I was teaching special classes, so I became really good friends when I went through flight school training He was a retired naval aviator. Actually, he flew for the Blue Angels, and he went over into the Air Force Reserves. And he was flying the Air Force aircraft, but then they jumped back and forth because he was a F-14 pilot, qualified for the F-14. And for my birthday, he got a hold of me a couple of days before, and he goes, because we were going to be flying to Vegas, and he goes, just be at our local, actually military, which was a Marine Corps air station, El Toro Marine Air Station here, which is just north of me. Well, used to be. He says, be there. I'll have all your stuff. He goes, I got a birthday gift for you, because we were flying on my birthday. So come in, and this is in an F-14 Tomcat. We get in there, 300 hours. Get through the base. I'm there at the flight lines, go back in. He brings the helmet in and everything, gets that in. I do all the safety checks, everything onto it, pressure testing on it. Get in, we get in the jet, and we take off. And I go, where are we going? He goes, just never mind. You got your camera with you like I told you? I go, yeah. He goes, well, happy birthday. Most expensive birthday gift you're ever going to get in your life. So we take off. We're gaining altitude. We take off. And all I know is we're heading, at this point, mainly northeast just a little bit. So you're starting to see the sky starting to turn up red as we're traveling along. And all of a sudden, we come up. And all of a sudden, he starts dropping down. And all of a sudden, he turns and banks the aircraft. And the forward wing starts moving forward. And all of a sudden, Lake Powell.
Oh,
So
Lake Powell.
we've gone from California. Hi, Ron.
Can't hear. Oh,
And all of a sudden, that turns and
Hey, Ron.
banks the aircraft.
wow.
And the forward wing starts
I made
moving
it.
forward. And all of a sudden, so we're over the top of Lake Powell, and
Made
it
it.
comes in. California. Hi,
Can't
Ron.
hear. Oh,
Somebody's got their browser open.
I made it. All right. All right.
Oh, all you had to do is shut the volume down.
That's a great birthday gift.
So we drop in down on the Grand Canyon, all the way down to Las Vegas to where we were going, flying at 140. I mean, it was just barely 140 knots, just cruising, watching the sunrise coming up over the Grand Canyon.
Did you remember to use the camera?
I did.
Nice.
And it was all shot, and I still have the slides. What I need to do is have them, digitally done into a digital format.
Yeah.
I mean, it was phenomenal.
I've
And
got,
and
I've got a
ironically,
machine back here that does that.
I've never been to the Grand Canyon, not even the rim. So how are you feeling, Ron?
I'm a little tired. I got home today, a couple hours ago, and kind of my wagon's dragging a little bit.
One way to put it.
Are you feeling better?
You're
Yeah,
sick? What happened?
medical side, I'm feeling better. Yeah,
Good.
just kind of run down, tired. Wagon's dragging a little bit. Hey Brian, I had a little fun with the 360
Yeah.
last time.
What happened?
Medical side, I'm feeling better.
Okay, we're still echoing.
Just kind of run down, tired.
Bud, mute the browser audio.
Brian, I
Let me
Wait.
see.
had a little fun with.
Mute the browser audio.
I got him muted. Let me see if that works. Go ahead,
It's
Ron.
him.
Yeah. Hey, Ron, what do you think it is? Side effects or after effects from the COVID?
Mute the browser
You know, I'm not really sure what I had. But
Don't know what to do.
You're on the. You got your other browser screen open for the YouTube broadcast. Mute the volume in the YouTube broadcast.
Let's try it now.
Good.
I closed it.
Okay. Well, that fixed it.
yeah.
Well, I'm a dumbass.
Everybody's got
That's
to learn.
weird
Hey,
now.
Ron, you were saying something about the Insta360?
Yeah. If I could share, Brian.
Yeah.
Share screen. I have a whole bunch of thinking I'm going to try and put a little video together, but I was playing with it in the front seat of the helicopter last night.
Oh, helicopter. Great.
Can you see my screen, Brian?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's up there.
Enlarge that.
Crap.
This was taken off from the rooftop at Bismarck. Oops, turn the volume down.
Man, that's a hell of a drone.
Wow, nice.
Well, that's awesome.
That's nice and clear, Ron.
Yeah, except for the bugs on the windshield. But then this one here, Brian, coming up, the next one.
Yeah, I'd be color grading that.
Yeah.
So
This one
Ron,
here, I kind of manipulated in the software a little bit.
Yeah.
Is that 360R or I mean, whatever?
The
What's on
X2.
Okay.
Look at you, all professional pilot looking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hit that building right over there, but that's me.
Yeah.
Damn, that's cool.
I was having fun.
That's awesome.
So, Ron, let me ask you now: if I come out there, I got to get injured to get a ride in that helicopter?
Pretty much. Might cost you a few bucks too.
Yeah, yeah. You know when you go to buy something and it says starting as $30,000.
Does Medicare pay that or?
Part of it.
Okay. I'm in. Hey, Brian, by the way, thanks for inviting me.
Oh, no problem.
I'm almost sober tonight.
Oh,
Hey, Bud, my name is Ray. I've never been on a stream with you. Where are you from?
It's a little town called Oswego, Illinois. We're southwest of Chicago, about 50 miles. Pretty much farm country.
Okay.
So
Nice to meet you.
I work at a golf course. I fly that, and I have a family farm about 800 acres. I fly that.
Oh, nice.
So I don't know how I met Brian. Probably just through YouTube channels and subscribing and stuff. And
that's what it was.
I think I've
Yeah,
talked to
no,
Steve
that's-
before and Ron before. But I'm an alcoholic, and it is what it is.
Okay.
Kidding.
I'm an idiot. I can't even work my own stream.
Now I'm waiting for the
Okay.
wife to get home so I can cook her a pizza.
There you go.
Oh, there's Ed.
I don't know about you. I asked
Welcome back.
Brian. I asked Brian a couple weeks ago to send some rain, which he sent for a couple days, and it hasn't rained in like 3 weeks. And it monsoon today. Our humidity is terrible.
We had 3 weeks of straight rain here.
Oh, really?
It's finally over for
Good.
now.
We've had that much a straight drought.
It was beautiful here on Long Island. Just a little too windy to fly today, but it was a good day.
Oh, it's beautiful here today. We're in the low mid to low 70s and sunny right now.
Yeah.
Oh,
What's up, Steve?
Just keep rubbing it in, Steve.
Yeah,
crazy
Steve.
shot.
Well, as I said, the reason why I still live here is because of the weather.
Where's that at?
Southern California,
Oh, you bastard.
halfway between Los Angeles and San Diego. As a crow flies, a half a mile from the water.
Beautiful country.
It
Yeah.
is.
The next time I come out to visit my son, Steve, we definitely got to get together.
Amen. And we're still, just to let you know, in case your son's telling you something again, like you mentioned, our illustrious governor is going to hold the mask order on till the end of July.
Oh, end of July? Really?
All right.
Oh,
How much you
Governor
paying for
Steve.
gas?
What's that?
How much you are paying for a gallon of gas?
Way in the hell of a lot more than you are even at. At
we're
if you go to the regular gas pumps, regular right now is $4.29 a gallon.
Oh my
Wow.
God.
Oh,
At Costco, which is the cheapest, $3.89.9.
oh my God.
I could have
We're like
paid
$2.98 here.
87 today, Steve.
I guess
Let
I
me
should
grab the
pay
knife
attention.
out of my back, Ray.
So
Yeah, that's
Jim
a
must
great-
be in Canada. They do the metric system up there.
Yeah. Is that the splash, Brian?
No, I started the stream out because that video I just showed, I took so much grief on Facebook for that video because
Really?
Why?
there was one here. It was a Houston group. They said that is bullshit. You should not be posting that because that's not drone video. It's supposed to be Houston drones. I ended up backing out of that group because I got so much shit over it. And the point of it is, that's all I'm doing. That there is showing how that video was made. It's an instant 360 camera. You
I loved it.
don't believe everything you see on the internet.
Yeah. Well, I could post some really stupid
Man.
ones, but I won't.
Why not?
Facebook is a harsh
very.
I'll tell you that.
Yeah, but Brian, your little first time FPV flight with R2D2 in the background, that one, I don't know
Hey,
how
I'm
many
trying to
times I
find
keep watching that.
You gotta remember, man, there's a lot of woke people on Facebook. To me,
Well,
it sounds like they've been throwing
Can't
too
please
much-
everybody. Sure.
too much carbon monoxide. Hey, Ron, how are you?
Mr. Ed, how are you, sir?
I'm hanging in there.
Living the dream?
Still vertical. No, it's more like
Living
a
the dream.
nightmare,
Love
but
it.
So how many days off do you have, Ron?
Not many.
What do you mean?
Today,
You're getting ready to head west.
well, this rotate. I have today off. Saturday, Sunday. I work Monday, Tuesday, my part-time job. Have Wednesday off. Head to back to work Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and then I have part of a. Then I have like 4 or 5 days off, and then I go up and work 2, and then have off 17.
Oh, 17 at that point. Yeah.
That's when you,
17's a nice
road trip, your motorcycle trip?
yep.
Ooh.
Yeah. Oh, Ray Kelly, I was thinking about you the other day, buddy.
Why? When you were fishing?
Oh, we were hammering them, buddy. Hammering them.
You did well with the walleye, huh?
Oh, yeah. I cook. I'll tell you what, that walleye is better than halibut.
Is it really tasty?
Oh.
Huh?
That was good stuff.
Delicious.
buddy.
Where do you fish at?
We're in the Missouri River,
Whereabouts in Missouri? Or
North Dakota.
oh, no kidding, way up there. Awesome,
Yeah.
beautiful country.
Now, were
Yeah.
you using bait or live bait or
We were
Lord,
using jigs and minnows, and then we switched. We got into some rough water and tried some crankbaits, and that worked pretty well too.
Wow.
okay?
Unfortunately, we were looking for dead bodies too.
Oh, man, sorry for laughing.
Yeah,
Somebody-
it's the truth though. The weekend opened up the opportunity for stupid. It was 102 degrees last weekend,
Holy cow.
and everybody with a boat and a jet ski and a kayak was out, and
Yep.
there was 2 fatalities. One they still can't find. One was a personal friend of the guy I was fishing with. So we fished, and then we actually we patrolled the banks and looked for him. They still haven't found him.
Wow.
Yeah. Guy, 45 years old.
Wow.
Don't know
Too
what
young.
happened. Yeah, was out in the kayak. They saw where he launched from, found his kayak 2 miles down, and can't find him.
Wow.
Yeah.
One of the eeriest times that I went fishing was the day after Flight 800 went down in the Atlantic Ocean.
I remember that.
And I went out and I headed to that area specifically, and I was waiting to come across a body. Luckily or unluckily, I didn't, but it was really, really eerie. And
Well,
you think you see something, and then you come up to it, and it's not a body. Thank God.
Yeah.
If they drown, they fill their lungs with water, they sink, and it takes a couple days for them to float.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, this conversation has turned deadly.
Yeah, it has.
Hey, Ron, I was actually waiting for you to come in. I was hoping you'd come in, I should say. One of the things that I've been doing lately with Luminar 4 is restoring some of my old photos. This one behind me right here,
Mm-hmm.
that's in Montana
Really? Whereabouts?
by the Swift Dam, in the Bob Marshall Wilderness.
I'm not sure I know where that one's at.
Let me see, northwest of Shoto, east of Glacier National,
East of Glacier. Okay.
east and south, I should say, of Glacier.
Will be south of Great Falls.
A long ways to the west of Great Falls. It was about a 5-hour
Well,
drive.
Great Falls isn't too far east of Glacier, because we went in through the.
Now wait, I'm driving. You're flying a helicopter. It was
No, I drove up. We went into the south entrance, went up through Road to the Sun, and then came out the north entrance, and then went into stayed overnight in Great Falls. Yeah, I'm just trying to picture where that's at.
I know Shoto was the nearest town because this picture was taken in 97, but my brother and I were there in 90. We were back there for almost 10 days.
Really?
Wow.
Okay.
And we saw 5 people in 10 days. And
I believe that.
two of those were John Birch people. Really nice people.
Yeah. The other day, Brian, I was on my way to work,
Oh, no, I'm not, Jim.
and every critter in South Dakota challenged me: deer, antelope, rabbits, raccoons, possums, prairie dogs, skunks, a turtle who I saved. I picked
you
his
saw
sorry
the
ass
turtle?
up off the road. But then when this guy ran out in front of me, I'm like, oh no, you're out of here. And I perfectly swerved the vehicle.
Hey,
Took him out.
Chris. Oh, yeah.
I'd have
gone.
gone back for him. Run him over a few more times.
I'm
I
gone.
did. I backed up to get a picture, and I went too far. Backed over him again.
I'm surprised you get those way up there, man. I didn't think you
Oh,
did.
dude, they're all over the place.
Really?
What was that? About 6 foot?
Yeah, at least.
I can walk on water when I see a snake.
I'm
was in a truck. I was
surprised
in
you
an
haven't
F-150.
tried it. If there's so many, why haven't you tried to cook one up, Ron?
I'm not into snakes. In the frying pan, on the road, whatever.
No. As long as they're deboned, I've had them. It's pretty good meat, actually.
T-boned.
They are.
I mean,
Only 9,000 bones.
yeah, well, like I said, they got to be deboned.
I would tend to run its ass over too, Ron.
The funniest story I ever had with a snake was last year. I was out antelope hunting with a guy, was guiding. He shot one and we couldn't find it. And we spent the rest of the day. The next morning we go back out. We're trying to find this wounded antelope. And I'm down in this deep draw and I start climbing up over this butte. And I get to the very top and I take one more step and I'm like, that don't feel right. And I look down and I'm like, oh shit, rattlesnake. And I jumped. I stepped right on it. I jumped in the air. I fell down the hill. And I hit myself a couple times, but I didn't think I bumped my head. I get up. I brushed myself off. And I'm like, well, I'm okay. So I'm still looking for this antelope. And I pull up my binoculars and I'm still looking around and I find a camel in my binoculars. I'm like, oh shit, maybe I did bump my head. But it was a
Camel.
real camel in Wyoming. It was a guy who had a ranch next door, and he had a camel and a donkey and a couple of horses and a couple other weird animals. But I thought I was like, did I really bump my head?
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
looking through binoculars, and I really do see a camel in my binoculars.
Did you find it? Did you finally find it?
No,
No.
we searched for 2 days, could not find it. Yeah,
So where do you live, Ron?
I live in western South Dakota. I'm like 5 miles outside of Rapid City, South Dakota.
Okay, that's
Pretty
beautiful
close to Mount
country, man.
Rushmore, right near Sturgis, South Dakota.
Okay, yeah, beautiful country.
Oh, very good. Black Hills is gorgeous.
Oh, move down to Illinois where it's flat and boring,
No, thank you.
and the taxes are terrible.
I used to live in Pennsylvania, bud, and for 8 years in a row, I come out here to shoot prairie dogs. I used to drive through Chicago. My blood pressure has never been higher
Mm.
in any time in my life other than driving through and around Chicago.
Yeah.
With all
Thanks,
your little
Ron.
road tolls, no thank you.
Ron, where were you born and raised then?
Central Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania.
Yeah, because I kind of thought I heard a little accent because there is a particular accent to people from Pennsylvania. It's not real
Yeah,
particular. You got to listen for it. But yeah, you
My
don't sound like a South
Pennsylvania
Dakotan.
accent. Yeah.
You don't sound like no South Dakotan I ever met.
No.
Yeah, hey there. You could be from Wisconsin
yeah.
or Minnesota.
I mean, I know. Listen to Russ. Now that's 51 drones. There's one of the Dakota.
Russ,
Oh,
Russ-
yeah.
Now there's a difference, believe it or not, Brian, from
Between
South
North
and North Dakota. Those
Yeah.
North Dakotans, they got that. It's the way they say their O's, and
Ooh.
they
It's
stretch
more
them
like
out.
Minnesota. Like
Yeah,
Minnesota.
like Bud was saying. Yeah,
Yeah, put the
Yeah.
boat in the bay.
yeah.
I gotta put the pizza in the oven. I'll be back.
Ron, is the cost of living cheaper in North Dakota or South Dakota?
I
That's a good
think
question.
in South right now. I don't know. I'll tell you what. I actually had a long conversation with somebody today. Right now, South Dakota is the #1 state in the nation to move to.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. And
Got the hottest
Yeah,
governor in the United
Steve, I was
States.
waiting for you to come on with that. Oh yeah. I'll tell you guys, to see her in jeans and cowgirl boots, it's all good, buddy. It's all good.
I kept on
And she's
sending him.
smart. No, she's a common sense.
Yeah.
She's a good governor. I'm sorry, she's Republican. It's like, you know what? Don't pull the bullshit, the political bullshit. And she's hot. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She is. I've seen her.
Mhm.
I kept on sending when I was watching the 4th of July display they were there when the president flew there. I kept on sending Ron images where she was over there, and they I said this will get his blood pressure up.
Yep.
I need to check that out. I know she. I've only seen her like from the neck up.
Oh,
But just even if she wasn't, just to say common sense and politician in the same sentence is just I gotta see this.
oh, dude, she's
I'll send you a link to
Like it is.
a picture of her where she's out in the field with a shotgun and over there, and she says, "Oh, this is how we go out and take care of things here." And all of a
That's how we
sudden,
roll.
the bird's flesh, boom, boom, takes it out and drops it down. And I sent that on to Ron. I'm sitting there going, "That's what we need to do. Bring her over here and let her take care of our governor."
Yeah, Steve.
All I gotta say is she makes me want to go there.
come on out, buddy. We'll fly some drones.
That'd be cool, man. I've never been west of East Texas.
Really?
Huh?
I've been into Canada, but I've never been very far west.
I gotta admit, guys, it's low key. It's
I like low key.
things are changing a little bit here. Our real estate has gone through the roof.
That's because they're trying to get out of all those lefty places and come to where the
Exactly.
real people are.
Exactly. Matter of fact, I was talking to a realtor today, and they said they're lucky they can put what do you call it, a whatchamacallit up online
Listing.
for listing for an hour. It's gone. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Going
amazing.
that fast. And they're going for half to almost double.
I've got my mom passed away a year ago, February. So we rented her house out. It was a couple that was supposed to build a house up in Minocqua, Wisconsin. A, they can't get lumber. B, they can't get people to build the house with the COVID and all that crap. So I'm like, stay as long as you want. But here where I live, houses are, less than an hour. Boom, gone.
Right. Yeah, there's bidding wars. There's bidding wars on houses here on Long Island.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine up there where you're at, Ray.
It's all over here. Like here, our house went up this is from April to May, because we're here at the beginning of June. 5.6% increase in the value of our price in 1 month. Now, I don't know if any of you guys follow financial. I do, because of the having to write leases and stuff like that. The CPI index, the Consumer Price Index, 5.2% across the nation, but just here in our local area, 4.2% increase in 1 month.
Crazy.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
God bless you, Ron.
Bless you.
Thank you.
That's all over your screen now.
Well, I mean, when you think
Here you
about
go,
it, I mean,
How long you, Ron? You can clean your screen off.
Yeah.
I know
Voters all over the place.
Jim Boyd, he's in the chat. He was saying that he's lived there where he's at in Florida for years and years, 20, 30 years, and they're building houses 10 feet away from where he is now.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, and he's in the middle of pretty much nowhere from what he says. Yeah, see, there he goes, building on every square inch here in Florida.
You're
Hey,
right.
Gotta be careful because Florida could sink. You know, they're low enough as it is. I still can't see how they're staying above the water.
Ray Kelly, this is just for you, buddy. Brian, I just sent you a screen share.
Okay.
Let me go ahead and exit out of that, and here we go.
Yep. This is also Brian with the 360.
There's another place I'd like to drag that camera
Oh, sweet.
to, out on the
Oh,
water.
wow,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a nice boat. Twin,
Yeah, it
out,
was a very nice boat.
twin outboards. Nice.
Yeah.
Cruising, dude.
looks like you're cruising along pretty good. How fast do you think you're going?
I don't know. We were doing 20, 25 maybe.
Oh, bull
Is that
crap.
all? It looked fast.
Most.
Faster than that.
I don't think it was a whole lot
Fast to
faster.
me.
No, that was kind of a cruise. It wasn't going real fast. There wasn't any real chop to be able to tell.
No.
I'm flying down to Florida on June 30th for 3 days. I'm gonna go on my boat, do a little fishing.
I was going to
There
say,
you
is
go.
it not hot enough in New York yet?
Yeah, no, it is, but I gotta go down once a month, give that boat a run. And you gotta clean the bottom, Brian. You gotta clean the bottom.
Yep.
Otherwise, you end up with algae and barnacles. You gotta
Yep.
do it once a month minimum.
Yep.
You can't raise that thing out of the water, Ray?
No, our condominium, we don't have the
Okay.
boat.
Yeah.
No.
Like I said, I know down in Galveston, it depends on where you're at, but some of the houses and condominiums, if you have a boat, they have
Right.
these canvas things that just kind of lift you up out of the water,
Yeah.
and they'll stack them side by side. Of course, if you're the last one in, that's kind of a pain in the butt to get
Well,
out.
don't misunderstand me. I don't mind.
Oh, yeah.
It's a good excuse to go down.
There you go. There you go, Ray. I hear you there. You know what's funny though is at least you get the sea breeze here in Florida if you're close to the coast.
Right. Yeah. It's not that bad. The heat really never bothered me. I mean,
Where the heat is bad is in like in the middle of the state. If you're within 5 miles of the coast, it ain't that bad.
Yeah.
Move to Illinois. Terrible.
No
The
thanks.
other thing, Ed, the village
Friday.
is running a bus trip. We're gonna go up to your neck of the woods, St. Augustine, to see the Knights of Light.
Well, we'll have to hook up.
He's not there.
Nights of Lights is pretty cool. I mean, I've seen it ad nauseum, but it's very
liked it.
cool. It's the town is beautiful with the Nights of Lights.
I went for the first time last year, and I suggested it to the bus driver, and he put it on the list. So they're going to do it again. We're going to go for 2 nights.
I want to go to North Dakota, South Dakota, and catch the Northern Lights over a lake somewhere.
The
Yeah.
Northern Lights would be badass, and I would like to see that.
Yes.
Yeah, but if usually September, October, usually more towards the Fargo, which is the eastern side.
Right.
That's generally a good time.
What about the Milky Way? For time
Um,
exposure.
Yeah, you want to stay up north again. Stay
Yeah.
up towards
Well, no,
north.
if you go to Big
North
Bend
part is
National
favorite.
Park,
Pardon me, Brian?
Big Bend National Park here in Texas, you can catch the whole Milky Way galaxy around 2 in the morning if you're there in the wintertime.
Wait, I'd have to be up at 2 a.m.?
Well,
Yes.
yeah,
I get up at 4.
it depends on how long you can drink. If you start at like 9 or 10, you'll still be conscious by 2. You may not be able to look at the telescope or anything, but that's not my
You
problem.
know me too well.
Well, a telescope won't do you much good to see the Milky Way. You want a real wide
Right.
angle view.
Right.
Right.
Hey, I got a question though for you, Ron, on
Yeah.
on the Northern Lights. Have you ever been in an area where the Northern Lights are prevalent and tried to fly a drone?
Oh, boy.
The reason why I ask is because the Northern Lights are a direct part of that KP index thing.
Right.
Yeah, but it's so dark.
It doesn't. What I'm getting at is it possible to even fly a drone?
Yeah. The only thing is, like I said, for them, that's where you need
It's
to be.
upper
Parts
atmosphere.
like North Dakota, you need to be in an area that is dark. Like if you're up in the Badlands of North Dakota, or
Okay.
even out. Matter of fact, the last time they were real prevalent here, my boss saw them over at Devil's Tower in Wyoming.
Ooh.
So I'm
You know,
gonna
we
take
see
that.
them a lot from the air, flying in the fixed wing. I see them a lot.
I'm going to take that as a no, and that means I'm going to have to go to North Dakota to find out myself. Because even if they're not playing, the KP, even in the daytime, is still going to be there. You know, you're going to get those electromagnetic whatever coming from the sun.
Here's okay, Brian. The KP only has to do with GPS stuff. Okay.
What I'm talking about.
Fly Eddie mode.
Well, then you fly manual.
Yeah,
No.
Eddie mode.
Back in the day here, when I first started with the Spark, I had a KP of 6 one day, and I said, what does that mean? Yeah, I found out what a flyaway is that same day too.
Okay, now there is some. Now I've never seen a KP of 6. I have seen 4. I'm not sure if that's when I had my flyaway, but it was a toy drone. It wasn't.
Yeah. Back in January, we had one of 8, and I said, "Where are they? I should be able to see them tonight." But it was some sort of solar storm they said was going on. We had KP of 8. I think I actually took a picture of it on UAV Forecast.
Right. But Brian, to answer your question, the last time from the ground that I saw the Northern Lights, if I wasn't on duty, I could have left and been there in 20 minutes to a spot where I could have filmed them. And I was kind of mad. We got back from a mission and saw them, and they, unfortunately, we're about, the airport's about 5 miles outside of town. I could still see them plain as day. I'm like, oh God, I wish I could leave, but I'm on duty. It was like 3 in the morning. Yeah. And if I could have left, I would have took off towards, It was out towards the Badlands in North Dakota. It's only like a 20-minute drive, but it's pretty dark out there.
My thing, I've never seen them live myself, and I'd like to see them because to me, it's like, because I've seen videos of it. Okay, am I looking at a live video? By that, is it speeded up? Do they work like clouds? Is it
they're amazing. It looks like, I don't know what you would call it, but like radio waves just floating through the sky, and they're tall and wavy.
Oh, dude, that's
amazing.
45 years ago, I dropped LSD. I got it now. Okay, I'm good.
Well, that was when I saw him 45 years ago. I'm kidding. Yeah, Bloomer, Wisconsin, about the middle of the state. It was unfreaking believable.
You get up into Alaska, or you go to the Faroe Islands or Iceland and places to watch that, or you get up into the Norway and stuff. Those are the best places.
Yeah.
That's one of my bucket lists is to go there, because there's 2 photographers that I follow. And one's from the UK, and they fly to the Faroe Islands all the time in Iceland to do shooting. And one of the guys he went with, it was like you knew it was real. It was not something staged, and they're shooting video, and he's doing a live broadcast. And they weren't expecting the lights to be that grand that evening. And the whole sky just erupted. And he's facing the camera this way instead of the lights being behind him. And all of a sudden you hear the guy say, "Turn around!" And he turns around, and I was just like, "Oh my gosh, look at this!" And the whole, just everything swirling and going around. It was stunning.
Yeah,
on video.
If you haven't seen the Northern Lights, go see them. Amazing.
Okay, Ray. Here's one for you then. Here's one for you, because you're 9 years older than me, and I was 5 years old at the time. And my mom said, "You remember them, right?" No, I do not. So, given our age difference, you would have been like 14. They came to New York, I think, in the winter. They came down as far as New York. My mom saw them in New York City. You never saw them.
Damn. No, don't remember them.
Good,
I wasn't in my teens.
Bucket list. Now we got a bucket list.
Yep.
There's so many places that I want to fly. There really are. I do have a list. I have an actual list.
Let's hear it.
I'm checking them all.
Let's hear it. What's your list?
Well, I want to go to Ireland. I want to fly in Ireland. I want to go to Italy, fly in Italy. And believe it or not, I have a cruise booked in November, leaving from Italy, going to the Greek islands. So they're on the list too, the Greek islands. And I do want to get out to Dakotas and then visit Ron out there too. But I could go on and on.
Oh yeah, we all could.
That's a great video, Steve. I love that.
Yeah, there's the one of her shooting, and I'll put it on there. You guys can click it.
I'm looking at it.
Oh yeah, it's all good, man.
Paya! Bird down, bird down.
Is there a way I can share one of my friends' YouTube videos on here?
I suppose.
How would I do it?
You copy the link from the video and put it in the chat.
Okay, I'll find it.
I gotta tell you guys, nothing sexier than a pair of Daisy Dukes and cowgirl boots. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she came to the western side of the state last summer, and they have a thing down south near Custer State Park. It's only, I don't know, 45 minutes from here, but they have a buffalo roundup. They kind of keep a little bit of a tab on the herd down there because they get a little bit too big. And but she came down, and I was down there working the paramedic unit. I got pretty darn close to her. I'm like, oh, it's breaking my heart, man.
Okay, Ron, what's a little too big on a buffalo herd?
You know, I don't know. Depends on where you're at.
You know, I was always, you know, knowing what I know about Native American history and the millions and millions of buffalo that used to roam like flocks of birds across this country, and you know, they did away with all those. I'm just curious to see what a large herd of buffalo would be considered large now.
You know, out at, you know, for example,
Like
last summer I was in Custer State Park on my motorcycle. I sat there for a better part of 45 minutes. They would not get off the road. There was probably a couple hundred of them, and this park ranger come down with you like a cowboy. He came down with this giant whip and started snapping it, and because they get all temperamental and all pissy and nasty.
Yeah,
they had traffic. It was like a New York City traffic jam. Nobody could move. They wouldn't get off the road. You'll come into Yellowstone. I've sat over an hour in a traffic jam in Yellowstone. They come on the road and you piss them off, they're going to turn around with an attitude, and then they headbutt your car. Now you
I've heard of that. I've heard of that.
Yeah, they do it all the time. I'm scared to death of driving in Yellowstone on my motorcycle. They do not like loud sounds. I didn't know the one time I was there, I didn't know whether they didn't like my motorcycle or my trunk of music. I had the stereo up on my bike and had the bike running. The one, he was probably 50, 75 yards from me, and all of a sudden he turned in the split of a second and started coming at me. And thank God traffic started to move, and I turned the music down and ran like hell.
You weren't playing rap, were you? I hear they hate rap.
Oh, I don't know. They just don't hate any kind of music.
All right, I posted it, but it went into private chat. That's the only way I could figure out how. But it's
no. You got to post it in the YouTube on the YouTube
Let me
side.
see if I can get it.
What do you mean the YouTube side?
On the
YouTube, you don't like me because
I got it.
Oh, you got it?
I'll put it over there.
Yeah, this is up in Wisconsin. It's the Milky Way coming across. It's only 34 seconds long.
Hey, before I forget, Ray Kelly, I need to speak to you.
I'm going to get past the commercial.
Real quick.
Get past the commercial.
Hey, give me a call afterwards.
Yeah. I almost forgot.
Okay.
Come on. There we go.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Here it comes.
Oh, yeah. This is awesome.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That is very cool looking. So is that supposed to be the Milky Way?
Yes, it
That's
is.
the Milky Way. Wait for the clouds to come across.
That's vertical up and down.
Ah,
Is that cool?
Very cool.
Very, very cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
I got them. Oh, those are satellites, I guarantee it.
Wait,
Yeah.
see, here's the part
Hey,
that
that's
confuses me.
award-winning footage right there.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So here's what confuses me is that, I mean, we're technically part of the Milky Way, so how can it be flying across the sky like that?
We're on the outside edge of the Milky Way galaxy.
We have God on our side.
And we have aliens watching us.
Yes,
Yep.
we do.
I'm not going to dispute any of that.
That is one cool video, man.
It
Well,
is.
That is sweet.
Those streaks are
So is
satellites.
that a North frickin' Star or what is that?
Probably.
Don't forget the government's releasing that report on the
Going one more time.
UAPs.
Yeah, no, that wouldn't be the
Aerial
North.
phenomenon.
That's
on
not
June
the North
20th.
Star.
Look at that. That's awesome.
That's not the North Star. He's looking
No.
out the other direction.
That's
North
got to
Star
be
would-
the moon then? It's awful
No.
bright.
Well,
No.
Saturn, Mars, who knows?
That could be Sirius.
Yeah.
And why did it flash right there?
Yeah.
Serious at about that time.
Did y'all see that flash?
What class?
There was a flash. That bright star we're talking about.
Yeah.
It could have been.
You should tell your friend he could license that to Hollywood.
That's when he
Trust
got
me, we've talked.
abducted. That's when he got abducted by the aliens. That's where the flash came.
Oh, you guys are great, man. How else to spend a Friday afternoon? Well, evening.
Evening now. Listen,
I'm an alien. James Downing or Droning.
James
He's an
Downing.
alien. I love it.
hey, well, guys, I got to wrap this up.
Bob
Thank you,
Casey,
Bob.
fine. How you doing, Bob? Hope all is well out there in Eastern Kentucky.
Yeah, my pizza's almost done, so.
Bob's been in here a while now. He got home from work a little bit ago.
Yeah.
Work? What's work?
Yeah, right. Huge herd here at LBL land between the lakes.
As the world turns.
Yeah, when they're in rut, you got to watch out. I didn't know they had them there. I always thought like Buffalo or like Wyoming, North Dakota, South Dakota,
Yeah,
Montana.
they're a pain in the ass. Sorry.
There they are.
Hey, Ron, I was going to ask you a question. Have you guys had any more attacks with bears and a lot more being more aggressive this year than normal?
You know, there seems to be quite a few out in Yellowstone this year. Like I said, it started out with a guy I personally knew was attacked and killed back in, was it March, April? And totally not his fault. He didn't know. He just, guy I met with a big photography group in Yellowstone last year, talked to this guy for 2-3 hours. Super nice guy, young guy. He was just out fishing. But he got 50 yards from a carcass, didn't know it.
Wow.
And he had a gun. He was a smart guy. He had a gun and bear spray. What happened? I don't know. But we've actually, where I live, we have not had any bears until this year. And now there's been multiple bear sightings right where I live. So, which gives me reason, anymore. I go out and, I usually do anyhow, but I always carry when I go out. That's the funny thing is, Ray's up there in New York. He carries for a certain reason. I'm out here in South Dakota. I carry for a totally different reason.
What do you carry? What do you carry, Ron?
Depends on where I'm at. If I'm just out here locally, I carry my 40. If I go up in the grizzly country, I have my 44 Magnum.
Okay, well, I'm a firm believer in the 44 Magnum. I have a Clint Eastwood one myself.
Yeah,
I carry a bottle of Canadian Club, but I don't know how well that works.
yeah. I believe in best to be tried by 12 than carried by 6. So
That's right.
yeah.
My biggest problem is squirrels.
They're pretty
Yeah,
bad.
the reason why I asked that, up here at Yosemite this year, they have had so many bear coming down, and on the, you've heard of the Mist Trail and all that, going up to Vernal Falls to go up to all the falls going to Half Dome. Usually you're not going to see bear anywhere else. They've been on the trails. In fact, so far I've heard 8. They've had to tranquilize 8 and take them out of the valley area because they've become aggressive.
Do you think that's because of the pandemic where there's less people walking?
There's been less this year because I know, how many years ago, back in the 1980 or 90s when the government, shut down the federal government and they closed all the national parks.
Yeah.
We had reservations already. We were staying right outside of Yosemite, and we went to go in, and they said the park's closed. Well, I overheard this guy talking. They weren't letting anybody in. Well, in Yosemite, there are 3 private communities within the national park.
Right.
And all you have to do is say you're going to visit your friend. And the guy said, the Robinsons in this community. So here we are. There's 6 of us in a Ford Explorer. We come up to the gate, goes, and the ranger was really polite, very nice guy. He says, I'm sorry, the park's closed. No, we understand that. We're going to visit our friends, the Robinsons, up in this community. And he goes, okay, have a wonderful time. So we drive right on through. We get up in there. We come up to the top where you're coming up the southern entrance to the turn off the Glacier Point. We just coming down. A buck, a doe, and 2 fawn are standing in the road. They wouldn't even move. We're honking the horn, and they're just sitting there like more or less, like, get the hell out of our park. We own it now. We got down in there, went to the base of Yosemite Falls. We were there for 45 minutes. There was 6 of us, not a single other person around. From there, we went down to the base of El Capitan on the Merced River, had lunch. We saw 7 vehicles drive by. We came back in, got back up. We were there for several hours. We come back out, and the same ranger, as we're leaving to come out, is there. And he goes, well, I hope you had a good time. He goes, you had the right answer. And that's all he did. It smiles. He says, who am I to tell you you can't come into, and then he said it, our national park.
Good.
Guys, if you ever want to see parts of Yellowstone, and so many people come to my area thinking, oh, I'm going to see a ton of wildlife, but they don't understand the work behind it involved. They don't know you got to get up early in the morning. They don't know the areas to go through. And this is something that I've been learning for years now and still trying to perfect. But I tell you, one good guy to really watch and see, his name is Stan Mills, Mills. That's the name of his YouTube channel. Guy, probably I'm saying his upper 60s, unbelievably healthy as hell. But he hikes Yellowstone probably at least once a week. And I'm not talking 2-3 mile hikes. I'm talking 15, 20 mile hikes. He'll do it one day. That guy sees half a dozen grizzlies a day.
Wow.
And he goes out, and his videography is really, really good. But he's been in so many areas that I've been in, and I plan on, in the future, like next year, I plan on spending more time out there. I mean, people don't understand, like, and this is the honest to God truth. I have it somewhere on my computer. There is a hotel, and this is the honest to God truth, guys. There's a hotel out in Yellowstone, and they have a what do you call it, like a questionnaire when you check out. Like, how was our service, and blah 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 blah. This couple wrote on the survey how disappointed they were. And I'm talking, you wonder how these people breathe. They actually wrote on this survey how disappointed they were that they didn't see any bears. And they said, we would appreciate if you would train your bears more, because we spent a lot of money on this trip. They did. And this was viral.
True story. My dad took 35 millimeter slides. I was born in 55, so I'm talking 63, 64. We are out there hand feeding bears.
Hand feeding bears.
Graham crackers, cookies, whatever. And nobody gave a crap. They're like, if you die, you die. But they were so used to people feeding them.
That's
They're
very
like
dangerous.
looking at your car like, hello, feed me.
Well, back in April when I was in Yellowstone, I'll never forget this as long as I live. It was so close. If I would have arrived, I don't know, anywhere from 2 minutes to 1 minute earlier, lady I had met and her husband, they were watching the wolf packs in the Lamar Valley. And I had met them the day before, super nice couple. But we walked out at the same time, so I saw what car they went in. The next morning, I'm coming in. It's about 20 of 6 in the morning, not quite light yet. This is just a month or two ago. And I'm eyeing out the spot where I'm going to park. And I start to put my turn signal on. I start to turn to the left. And all of a sudden, she slams on her brakes. And I almost rear-ended her. In between her and me, it's probably, I'm saying about an 800-pound grizzly. Right.
Really?
And where he came out was right where I was going to park. So I'm sitting there thinking, what if I would have parked there 2-3 minutes prior, been in my back seat of my truck, with my back exposed, getting all my camera gear out, he would have came right where I was.
Yeah.
You know, who knows what happened? You know.
Yeah.
So that's some of the dangers that you take when you come out here to see wildlife like that.
Oh yeah.
You never know.
And that's one of the things where Bud brought it up, staying about because of the pandemic, is that this whole last year, bears coming out and everything out of hibernation and everything, there was no one there like there would normally be. And
Yeah.
now they're coming into a second year where there's very few people there, because like in Yosemite, you have to have reservations just to get into the park, to get in there. And it's just like, I'm wondering if the animals and their whole change of normal routine has been totally disrupted.
Good point.
You know,
Yeah.
Very good. All right, gentlemen, I got to take off for dinner. Have a wonderful
Brian,
weekend.
you got to leave too. I'm sorry. to
You
hold
too,
you.
bud.
Bud.
Good to see you, bud.
All right, see you, kids.
Yeah.
But no, I got to wrap this up myself. My wife.
Yeah.
Thank you, Brian. Sorry to keep
Hey,
you.
you almost got 3 hours there, brother.
Yeah, I
you did
know.
good, Brian. Thanks for the invite. Good
No
seeing
problem.
you.
Brian.
I'm glad you came in.
You normally only do an hour, right?
No, I'm usually up for about 2.5 hours.
Oh,
So it's
2.5
not
now.
that
Okay,
far over.
good for you. I missed you last Friday.
Yeah, no, I only do these every other Friday, or I'm trying to do them every other Friday.
Ah, okay. Well,
That's
I'll
what's
tell you
so odd
what,
for me, Brian. I'm coming home on an odd day.
the whole
I'm
schedule
normally home
thing
Wednesdays.
is tough to do.
This is Friday, right?
right.
It is Friday, yeah. No, you
I work
have
a
a
couple
screwed
extra
up
shifts
week,
this week.
Ron.
Yeah, I lost track of days. But
So I
That's
wish
okay,
I
Brian,
could
thank you.
say,
Steve,
Whatever movie you're watching, Thomas, is probably better than this. No,
I wish I could say happy Friday, Ron, but you probably got to work tomorrow.
I'm actually off for about 2 days.
Okay.
2 whole days. huh?
Well, then happy
We'll call that a
Friday.
weekend.
But hey, Ed, you ever come up to South Dakota, buddy? Let me know. We'll hook a brother up. We'll fly some drones. I'll take you to some. It's one more thing, Brian. I got to say.
No, go ahead.
It was kind of funny, and I was there at one point in my life. I was a flatlander, but I had Tony Tropic.
Tropic, yeah.
Yeah, Tony Tropic from hell of a nice guy. He was here last summer. He came out for the rally, and I took him into a couple spots, and he had a Mavic 2 Pro. He was scared to shit flying that thing because he's not used to the canyons,
Elevations.
and the mountains. He's like he was petrified. You know? And I
The
still
difference,
kinda, in a fun way, I tease him a little bit, but but I understand. It's
And see,
it's totally different
that's-
flying.
that's what I've never flown in yet either, Ron, is areas that have an elevation change.
Mhm.
I really want to do that too.
Yeah, same here.
My grandparents had this cabin in North Carolina that I spent many a happy summer at. But at that age in my life, I knew nothing about drones. Weren't even around. There wasn't anything that thing as drones. But over the years, just on road trips that I've done, I've stopped back by there and hiked the very mountains and trails that I did as a young teenager when I used to spend summers up there and camped out there and all, but drones still weren't around. And I want to fly that area with a drone so bad, it makes me sick.
Yep.
Oh. You have to come out for an oil change on your drone when you get here, Ed. You'll be able to. We're so drone friendly here. You have to get an oil change. All right, Brian.
Just bring
Sorry,
lots
buddy.
of batteries.
All righty.
Yeah.
Take care,
I'm going to go ahead
Ryan.
and wrap this one up.
All right, see you guys.
All right, later,
Thank you,
everybody.
All right, good night
Say
now.
hello-
Take
bye,
it
everybody
easy,
in the
Brian. Good
chat. Take it
dream.
easy, Ed. Thomas Ariels, Lost Girl Hikes, Angela, Bob Casey, Jim's droning still hanging in there. Who else we got up here? Love my drones. I think he just left.
Yeah.
But appreciate y'all stopping in and helping me out here.
All right,
But,
take care, Brian. Steve,
I'll take it
thank
easy.
you. See you guys.
Thank you.
Good night.